Oh yeah, we are live. Oh my God. And it's through sheer stubbornness that we come to you tonight because we were all set to give up, particularly me, and of trying to launch this from my own channel. Just and Orc having his own technological problems too. We were hoping to like maybe start somewhere like an hour and a half ago at the latest, and we probably would have thrown in the towel. But I was just so pissed off. I was like, we're gonna do this. So tonight we're giving one of our classic live commentaries about one of our favorite movies. I think we all really enjoy this one, The Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Van Damme, of course. Star-making performances by Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster, based on the novel by Thomas Harris. As a film that loomed large in my childhood too. It was sort of like the dark, scary film of my childhood that it took me a while to see all the way through, but I saw parts of, and I remember seeing this particular cover of the VHS at the video stores and being quite kind of scared by it. It looked pretty spooky to me and stuff. So yeah, this came out in like '91, and I was always pretty aware of it. Even when I was young, and even before I was really that into movies, I was sort of drawn to it because I'm drawn to dark things, I guess. Because I knew it wasn't like a horror movie, but I knew it had like some real life stuff to it, like more realistic, somewhat realistic. I mean, it's a serial killer, but it's a more theatrical serial killer in the character of Hannibal Lecter, one of the most famous characters or villains you want to call him. So we're already super behind, so we want to jump into it. But we give, if you guys have like the movie somewhere streaming, we'll give you like maybe a minute, I guess.
It's actually on HBO, so
there you go. Yeah, that's
The
right.
good thing
yes,
is, with all my fuck ups, we finally figured it out. So this one for the boys. There you go.
So we're paused like right at the opening on the Metro Goldwyn Mayer symbol with the lion about to roar.
Just tell me when you get to Anthony Hopkins and I'll pause.
Okay.
Tell me when you're about to hit Anthony Hopkins, and then I'll. Never mind.
Well, you don't have. What about that whole scene where Clarice Starling's like running around and training? He doesn't even come on screen for like at least like the first.
No. His name.
Oh yeah, I'm stupid.
No.
Of course you meant. All right.
But doctor, that's the guy who I saw at like every hospital. It's like, we can't let you do that, Mr. Lecter. It's like
the guy like Chilton. Yeah, Chilton. He's a real jerk. All right, so that's good enough. So if everybody's ready, we'll count down from 3 to 1, and then boom, we play. Everybody ready? Okay. So 3, 2, 1, ignition. Roar. So I'll try to turn down my volume because I'm not sure how loud it is with my headphones and stuff.
So let me know when you guys see Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
Not the Orion logo is what I've got.
Yep, me too. Orion.
I miss Orion.
They've been gone for so long.
Feels bad, man. That's a definite feels bad, man.
Yeah, I put my captions on. All right.
No.
Very interesting movie for Jonathan Van Damme, whose like previous work was like romantic comedies in the 80s. To jump right into this.
All right, Orc, I'm gonna let you know. Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins, go.
There it is. Yeah. We are pretty much in sync.
Actually, we're
you're like a half beat ahead of me, like, so it's good. We're very close.
Okay. Well, I'll pause it real quick, and I'm.
No, don't. Like that's
cool.
That's like close. That's like a record for us. Usually we're terrible at this.
I fucked it up. We start over.
We don't need fucking Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Is she climbing the rope? Where is she?
Yeah,
it says
yeah.
Sorry, it's Jonathan Demme, not Van Damme. I'm thinking of Jean-Claude Van Damme here. It's late, people. It's late. It's 2:30.
You better hope Ram watching this. Fucking
Ted Levine with his Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah, I think that actually gets really overlooked.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's great how good Anthony Hopkins is as Lecter, but I mean, you need Ted Levine there as Buffalo Bill. He's very chilling. And memorable. I
guess not.
I wasn't looking at the credits there, but I know that, of course, Chris Isaak is in this movie, the musician. He's one of the SWAT team.
That's right. One of his few.
I really enjoyed his show. I haven't seen it in 100 years, but years ago he had a show called The The Chris Isaak Show, which was just a fictionalized version of his life and the band. And also, the band was real, except they had a keyboard player who wasn't real. He was an actor just playing a made-up character. And I remember, there it is, Chris Isaak. I just remember him because he's a Canadian actor who's just popped up in things. What I remember him from was a Canadian film from 1995 called Little Criminals, which was about like a 10-year-old boy that was basically a criminal and just sort of got away with everything. And that guy played like a low-level drug dealer that used to threaten him and stuff. That's the movie that's like super depressing. Like at the end, like he and his mom like burned to death because she leaves one of her cigarettes lit, and it's they play creep while the credits roll and the house goes on fire.
Here's an orc pro tip.
Typical Canadian movie. But anyway, he also shows up very briefly in the movie, the Cameron Crowe movie Elizabethtown. There's a scene where the two main characters, Orlando Bloom and what's her name, Kirsten Dunst, like crash, like they're at like some sort of hotel, and there's like a big wedding party going on at the same time, and like the groom is played by that guy, and they like meet him out in the hall, and he's all drunk out in the hallway. That's the same guy. I don't remember his name, but talented Canadian actor. He was kind of a comedic source on the Chris Isaak Show, which I'd like to see again. I haven't seen it in literally more than a decade.
Orc's pro tip of Sunday morning: if you don't know a Canadian, get to know one, because Cole always talks about all these movies and Canadian bands that I'm like, I've never fucking heard of those. Not because I'm ignorant. It's just like they never got noticed here.
No, that's how it generally is, you know.
It's like that though.
We're under the radar.
It's but it's like that with you are, but it's like that with the UK and Australia too. I'll have a guy be like, "Hey, there's amazing." He lives in Christchurch, and he's like, "There's this amazing New Zealand band, and this movie called fuck, what was the one where she's in the house? Fuck, I'm blanking.
Is that the thing where she has the ankle bracelet on?
Housebound.
Housebound.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I'll be like, "Oh, I saw Dead Alive and Bad Taste," and he'll be like, "Yeah, Peter Jackson." And it's like,
yeah. My favorite New Zealand movie, like not counting something like Lord of the Rings, if you want to count that as sort of, well, shot in New Zealand, but not, and somewhat of a New Zealand production too. A lot of the crew were New Zealand. But anyways, a serial killer movie too called The Ugly. It's really good.
Oh, didn't that come out in early 2000s?
I think it's 97.
Like the VHS art was like it's a razor, kind of like a shaving thing.
I don't know. The only thing I remember is a picture of like the guy. It's about this young guy's got long dark hair, but maybe that is a cover. There we go. Directed by Jonathan Demme.
It's like the VHS art. I remember it's like a switchblade, and then it's got blood, and it says "ugly" in red. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's called The Ugly.
Oh, okay.
Phil Skins Fifth.
Anyways, this movie is top 25 for me, easy. Just because it's, like we said with serial fuck, sorry, I've been having a cough. Serial killers before on previous episodes.
Yeah, we got really in depth on them, didn't we?
Yeah, well, we might do a show, coming up soon. But
I'm thinking about it because I just watched. I'm not going to talk about it here, but I just watched The House That Jack Built this week.
Oh yeah.
And it's every bit as visceral and stuff as its reputation.
Brutal.
Yeah, cool. I mean, in very general terms, I'd say it's basically it shares a lot of stuff in common with Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and American Psycho, but it's much more high concept than either.
That's good to hear.
It's good though, man. It's good.
I love both of those movies. But what I wanted to what I was getting at basically was Zodiac. You know, it was so easy to do his stuff back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
What Hannibal Lecter actually does in this movie isn't actually impossible for the time period it took place in. I mean, it was early 90s, but I mean, dial-up maybe like in the late 90s. Like what he does in this movie is actually, 80s and early 90s. So that was actually possible. So that makes me love the character even more.
Oh yeah, he's a very smart guy. I don't like this guy as Crawford. He's never been the Crawford that I picture in the books. This guy, he's too, I don't know, the glasses don't help. He doesn't seem rugged enough. I think of Crawford as tougher. This guy seems more of an academic type. I don't know. I don't know the name of the actor. It's not coming to me, but he doesn't ruin the movie for me. Like, I love this movie. I think it's an almost perfect movie. But just when I think about when I read the book and the other books, because Crawford's also in Red Dragon. He's just not the Crawford, I imagine. I kind of liked what's the name of that guy? He always plays a criminal, except for when then they flipped it and he played a cop in like one of the Law and Order. He usually has a mustache. He's in Snatch as the American guy. He plays Crawford in Manhunter, and I thought he was kind of an interesting guy. He's the guy that has that kind of that Chicago style accent, Avi or whatever his name is.
He's the guy in the office, and he gives him the briefcase, right?
Yeah. He's like the only non-British guy in that movie. He's American. He's really mad, and he's just like, I thought you people spoke fucking English in this country, but I can't understand a word you're saying, and stuff like that.
Fucking pikey.
He's got the epic Chicago accent.
Yeah, it's got the epic.
I don't know what the idea is.
Well, anyway, he plays Crawford in Manhunter, and I think he's a better fit. And I can't. Who was Crawford in Red Dragon? You think I'd know? I know that movie like the back of my hand. I can't think.
So I love Hannibal, I love Red Dragon, and I love Silence of the Lambs, all for their own uniqueness, I guess. I haven't seen Hannibal Rising, and I haven't seen any of the TV show, except maybe for the first 15 minutes.
Hannibal Rising sucks.
It's that bad?
Well, I mean, even the book is bad. Like, he didn't want to write it.
I saw it in the theater.
I don't like them humanizing him. Like, oh, let's give him a good reason. Oh, bad stuff happened to him. Like, who cares? I don't want that.
It's just unnecessary.
As usual, with a prequel. Like, we didn't need to know this stuff. It was fine without it. I mean, this guy Shelton's pretty perfect. Is he the same guy as is he the same actor as the same kind of character in T2, or is that a different guy? They remind me of each other because they're the same sort of character. No, they are different. They're different people, but they're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
Chilton and the guy that's with Sarah, they're both really arrogant, and this guy's even worse, of course, Chilton.
But I was gonna try. I think I watched maybe the first 10 minutes of the pilot when it was on Hulu for Hannibal, but then they took it off, and I liked what I saw. But
good. I'd like to get back into it.
But I think I've never really gotten like into a horror TV series, and I think I might go with American Horror Story if I like dive into one, because
a lot of people like that.
Yeah, Jay got me to watch the pilot of that because that's all I do anyways, and that's a weird. It's the closest thing to like the first Insidious and the 2 Conjuring movies, and supposedly The Nun is supposed to be good too, even though it's got shit ratings online. But
does it?
Yep, I don't give a fuck though. If James Wan is touching. If James Wan is touching a film and not touching anything else like Kevin Spacey, I will check out the film. Don't give a fuck. If he's a producer or a director or he's a fucking contributor of any way or fashion, I'll check it out.
I might not check out that Aquaman. I don't know yet.
I'm going to see it, and I hope it doesn't just bomb, because that weekend, actually, Aquaman and then something else big comes out, another comic book movie.
There is Barney. The Orderly.
They're too big. It's the week of Christmas. There's another big film, and I thought.
Sorry.
Good.
I was just saying that's Frankie Faison.
Oh, that's who plays Barney?
I believe so.
He's a bit more in the books. He's a bodybuilder. In this, he's just sort of a big guy. Because that's a whole thing in Hannibal in the book, is that the sister of Vergis, or whatever his name is, his sister is like a big female lesbian bodybuilder. And she actually is like friends with Barney because he's also a bodybuilder. And Barney had kept some of Hannibal's stuff, and he was selling them on the black market because he could make a lot of money from it.
That's very realistic.
One thing I want to say with these scenes that we're watching as he's like sliding open the bars and stuff, or opening the door, I mean, is I'm so glad I lost my fucking mind in the really early 2000s, because holy shit, if you have like hardcore depression or bipolar or schizophrenia and like late 90s, you are fucked. Oh my god. Fuck this.
It'd stick you down with these guys.
Doesn't this guy throw jizz on her or some shit? Or is that another movie?
Yeah.
It is jizz.
Yeah, it's jizz. And you get a good shot of it too. That's Migs, multiple Migs who does that.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like hard. I wasn't in any fucking place like this. But I mean,
I
if you're in a
know.
better area and it's like a certain decade, this was.
No,
This
I
is
mean
the
I've been
norm.
in the psych ward of my own hospital years ago
Yeah.
when they like brought some like wild crazy guy in that like they had like 4 cops to control because he was nuts. I mean, they just put him in the quiet room and then I didn't see him anymore. But it was still kind of a scary thing, you know. It's just me and a bunch of other mild mannered people with various things, and then like a bunch of cops come in with this guy ranting and raving.
Lecter's look right here.
Even the way he
This
stands is perfect.
I know.
My record for staying up is still 85 hours. Now imagine Hannibal's look, but on a dude who's 6'5", and I stayed up for 85 hours, and that was the worst time of my life on brain-altering meds. But yeah, Hopkins is a savage in this movie.
I don't even think I've done 70. I've done over 60. But man,
It,
that
it,
I don't
it
know how
wasn't
you
by
didn't like
choice.
just lose your mind.
I almost did.
I've probably done in the
'cause
70s, yeah.
Once you get past 50, all bets are off. Like most people live their lives never getting past 50. You get past 50, weird shit starts to happen to you. It's like
So
you're not sure if you're awake or asleep. And
that,
for me, physical sensations were really weird. Like sometimes I wouldn't be able to feel parts of my body, or I'd touch something. I'd be like, that's not how this feels. I remember doing that. I'm like touching. I'm like, this isn't how a table should feel. I was like losing it.
That was on.
so
yeah.
my main point is though, it's like obviously don't go to prison and don't do something crazy, or hopefully you don't get framed and you're not in a shitty area where you're living. But don't go to psych ward ever in your fucking life, ever. You know what you got to do? Find a really good psychiatrist. If you know someone or you have kids that are like losing their fucking minds, that's
That's
work
a
where.
lot easier in the States than it is here. We just don't have enough.
You saw Unsane, right? Or
No, I'm still waiting to see that. And would you say that's horror enough to watch for the Halloween season? Because it's on Prime.
it's not really horror, but it's a good movie.
But like it's like edge of your seat thriller kind of, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, there is a good bit of horror elements in there. Yeah, towards the middle and end. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't
Here he is
wanna-
with his amazing sense of smell.
I don't want to spoil anything for you, but yeah, check it out.
Yep.
Doing his Sherlock Holmes thing here. But in the book, yeah, like when he's first introduced, it's pretty much exactly like this. And I like how I've said that he's a small, sleek man. And like, perfect. But even when they're even serial killers aside, it's startling to think of people, and it's true, in the world that are as intelligent as him, like that he can make drawings of such great detail all from memory and stuff. Like I think of myself as a smart person, but not on that level.
Like, I don't want.
I can't learn a language in a week. I can't read a novel in 10 minutes. I can't solve, super
Yeah,
complicated mathematical theorems. And I certainly there's a bit in the stupid Predator movie that Ryan and I just watched where the kid has like Asperger's, and to like point out that like maybe it's like something special. It's like there's a part where he's at like a chess club place, and these bullies like threaten him, and then they like knock all the chess pieces off, and shows that there's like multiple games, and he goes and he puts them all right back in the right places and stuff like that.
One of the things.
There's people that can like play chess without a board, right? They can just do it in their heads. Like I can't hold things in my head like that.
One thing why this is in my top 25 is he has a great performance, but just the fact that he's so smart, he never really talks. Everything he says is highly intelligent. He's like the opposite of me, and but basically he's so intelligent that, and that's what I like about him so much. Like he's so educated and intelligent.
We're lucky a serial killer like him who we know hasn't really existed. I mean, the Unabomber was very intelligent, Ted Kaczynski, but he was also so paranoid it made him do stupid things. So like because he was like a mathematical prodigy. He was like going to like, I don't remember, university when he was 16, 17, and he was a teacher when he was in his early 20s and stuff, and he just walked away from it all to go off the grid and be insane.
The thing about Lecter is, he's like 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone.
Yeah,
he's constantly plotting, what he's going to do at all times. So,
And the fact that he is a good
this
psychiatrist
part.
is that he's really good at reading people.
You look like a rube. I love that so much.
Yes, he's a master put down artist. He knows instantly what to focus on that will upset you the most.
Pure West Virginia.
West Virginia. Yeah, coal miner.
Oh, how quickly the
The
boys found
tedious,
me.
sticky fumblings.
Oh man,
Well, like
that
you
whole read right there, I love so much.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's pretty much word for word from the book. But I mean, he gives it life by saying so.
But as
You
you
have-
said, Jay, like every day that passes, what he does in this movie, not that it's good because he's a fucking serial killer and a cannibal, obviously, that as he's playing.
Yeah, but they still make him, somewhat likable, right?
Yeah. But everything he does and how smart he is, it becomes that much harder every day that passes with Siri up your dick hole and fucking Alexa in your fucking ass crack. That's what I hate the most about technology. And people are
Here's
like,
the
oh wow,
part.
this is great.
Here's the part where he thought like he kind of did this as a joke, and he's like, "That's too much." And Dem was like, "No, keep it in." Like the weird hiss where he goes, and he's like, "No, it's good." He's like, "Really? That was a bit much." He's like, "No, do it."
I was listening to something recently. It was they were talking about that, and they're like, I wonder if he tried a bunch of other things first, like it's just a bunch of ridiculous noises. Wah!
That's what it because he said like I ate him, right? He'd be like, and I ate him with a nice Chianti, nom 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 nom, or something like.
And it's like I ate him lunch with a nice Oreo. Or
Look at
something.
Don't do it, Megs. Oh,
And
gotcha.
Oh,
Like some gun in her mouth.
I mean that's a very upsetting thing.
That's what I call in my life an instant blood test. Instant.
Does he even know what happened? Like he wouldn't see it. He knows they yelled.
He just knows Meg so well.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, Miggs is gonna do it. So even though like supposedly a woman hadn't been through here in like 8 years, I guess Miggs probably threw it at the janitorial staff too. So he wasn't choosy.
Hey, Big Ron.
Starling's a very interesting character. I like her, but as I said, I like Will more. Yeah. One thing about the show, though, is they break Will down. Like, he's out of his goddamn mind on that show. Like, there's no way he could, like, function. Like, he's having nervous breakdown after nervous breakdown after nervous breakdown on that show. And they make him almost like he's not a serial killer, but they make him like almost as devious because he's breaking the law. Like, I mean, it's kind of interesting, but still, I like the normal version of Will in the book and as played by, well, mostly Ed Norton, but also the other guy too, the guy from CSI. He's all right.
Another thing that I really like about this movie was until the Del Toro movie that just came out, nothing had destroyed it just killed it at the Oscars, and then it took his new movie, and that's why I was so happy that he won, even though I haven't seen it yet. I don't care if they just fuck the whole time. It's Del Toro, and he won with a weird monster movie. So
They don't. They don't fuck.
They don't. But still, like, you have to be kind of impressed by like how sexual he makes it. Like, there were things like he could have just hinted at, but he was like, "No, you have to see this." Like,
Wow, yeah. I would get deeper into it, but I don't know. Work hasn't seen it.
It's a very good movie, though. It's pretty much what you'd expect from him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess we could talk about it another time.
I've won a few other awards, but it to be like kind of a monster-esque like horror movie from what I understand anyway. After this came out in what 90, 91, 92, and like one year they didn't even have any horror films up for nomination in any category, and they just showed a tribute, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like really?" So I was just happy that Del Toro won, even though I haven't seen the film yet.
No, it's not a horror film. It's a fantasy film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this kind of paved the road for that stuff. This film, getting all the awards that it won. It was odd, considering the subject matter, that it would get that kind of coverage and the awards and all.
Yeah, this movie was a big sensation. Everybody's
The,
talking about it.
First time I saw this film was probably in '92. It was on Spectravision.
Mm.
I was in Washington, D.C., and my siblings, my brother and sister, wanted to watch it, and they're much older than me. And I don't remember much about seeing it for the first time. I kind of zoned out and probably did something else because it is kind of slow, for like a kid to watch.
Sure,
I would have been,
yeah.
11, 12 years old. And like I just remember certain scenes. Like I remember the moss, and I remember, oh shit, it's a Buffalo Bill, like doing his dance with his dick tucked in between his stuff, and
There are certain scenes in movies where a song is used, and that will always make you think of that. Like, there's no way you can hear "Goodbye Horses" without thinking of that. There's no way you can hear like whatchamacallit, what's it called? Moving in Stereo by the Cars without thinking of that part from.
Dude, through the tulips and Insidious. Fuck that song. And the only country song I like is The Strangers, Merle Haggard, Mama Tried. When it's playing and he walks up behind Liv Tyler, I'm like, oh shit, this is real. Yeah.
I need to watch that one again.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, was that when she was coming out of the pool?
Kind of when Kate's, what's her name?
Oh,
Something Kate's.
Phoebe.
Phoebe Cates, yeah, she's coming out of the pool. Yeah, it's Moving in Stereo by the band The Cars. Anyway, like I said, there's just certain scenes in movies where the music and everything is just so iconic that if you hear the song ever, you just think of the scene.
You said the second Strangers movie sucks ass, but I'm such a big fan of the first one. I want to see it really bad.
Check it out.
I think that's.
I don't like the
That's what
first one at all.
After my situation changes, I think I'm gonna check it out definitely for October.
I want to see the new Purge movies though. Like the Purge movies, like they're nothing special, but like they've actually gotten better and better. Like the first one is like not that good, then the second one expands on it. The third one's pretty entertaining. So I know the latest one is a prequel called The First Purge. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Why not? Like it's a great formula. They don't have much of a budget and they make a lot of money.
Wait,
And they don't need big name actors or anything.
You've seen all three, right, Cole? So you're just missing the
I've
fourth
seen
one?
the original three. Yeah, I haven't seen the newest. Like I said, that the first one's okay, but you're thinking, well, it only why is this only happening in a house? Then they fix it in the second one where they're actually out. The second one's kind of bland, but the third one's pretty interesting and introduces some different concepts to it. I like how the third one opens too, because the third one opens with one of my favorite songs, 20th Century Boy by T-Rex. It's on the playlist of one of the murderers as he's killing a family.
I like the first one a lot, even though it's probably the slowest out of all of them, but that's just a fun concept to me.
The first one has one really good scene where like Ethan Hawke fights like 2 or 3 of them off in his like game room, like where the pool table and stuff is. Like that's a pretty cool scene. The rest I could take or leave. Like his family's annoying. I don't know. The bad guys aren't used to their full potential, I don't think, really. Anyway, it's okay, but the others are better.
But just that as a plot for a movie, that would make me want to definitely see 2, 3, and 4 if I had the money to acquire all the Blu-rays. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah,
I don't even like the plot. Like it's one of the few things where I can't suspend my disbelief, where I just don't buy it.
I love it. It's so fucking stupid. It's great. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, like you said, as long as you don't like take it seriously, it's fine. But I mean, there's some people that seem to think that that's something that could happen. I'm like, even if it could happen, it wouldn't work. Like the idea that it works is ridiculous. It doesn't work. If you were really going to do a purge, it would be more than 12 hours. That's not enough time to do anything. 12 hours?
The Purge Canada edition, every fucking sporting goods store gets robbed of hockey sticks and everyone goes to Tim Hortons and steals all the donuts and the coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to play again. I need a new stick. Man, when I was growing up, sticks were made of wood. But
what are they made of now? Fiberglass?
Like graphite, yeah, fiberglass stuff. It's a big, I mean, it really helps. It would have helped somebody like me who had like a shitty shot because you get that cool like whipcord effect. Like you can actually, like if you watch, sometimes they'll show like the slow motion replay of hockey players, like when they do a one-timer shot and you just see it, like it bends like crazy. It's awesome. It would have really helped. But yeah, I mean, I
That's
grew up with
the
a wooden stick
evolution
that
of hockey sticks and baseball bats have been amazing because
Oh, yeah.
I remember baseball bats when I was younger. My dad was like, "Yo," well, he didn't say, but he was like, I can get you this. I can get you this, but I won't be able to make the truck payment this month." So that was always fun, and I'm sure it was the same with hockey sticks too. But
Well, when I was growing up, I mean, there were wooden sticks, but once he got traded to the Kings, Gretzky started using a brand new aluminum stick. So that was kind of the cool thing. People wanted aluminum sticks. I think I had one, like a silver one, but it wasn't any better, you know. But like, yeah, the sticks they use now would actually help. Maybe I could have even had a decent slap shot. You know, in hockey circles, my slap shot would have been described as comparable to a warm summer breeze. So I almost never used a slap shot. My thing was to fake the shot and then just pass off to somebody. But and that wasn't because I was small either. A small player can do a hard shot. Just my technique was all fucked up and bad too. Although being big certainly helps. Ah, yes, lectures in the dark, watching some sort of evangelical program as punishment.
7 Club.
it's like that guy in Houston, the fucking douchebag with the stadium, the evangelical dude. That's like what I was
There's
watching.
so many. Or that guy's
Osteen.
like, if God wants me to have a private jet, I should have a private jet. And everyone's like, yeah, send him money so you can have a private jet. Like,
Osteen, I think is his name, right? Yeah. That guy's the ultimate cunt. Like I swear to God. I don't care if you.
this
That stuff
fucking
still
number
comes on,
keeps
man.
calling me. I should just answer and yell at them. This is like the third time tonight. It's almost 3 a.m. here. I just don't engage with wrong numbers. I should though.
When a Stranger Calls, Part 7, Cole Edition.
It's a local number. So I don't know. Actually, they're like for over a year. There's like this group of like low-level criminals that think I'm a woman named Lorna. They would often call to like, and they're like old, like they're like well, they might be like around their 50s, and like I'll get them like leaving messages or send in texts and stuff asking me like about getting pills and stuff like that. I'm like, do you ever talk? And I'm thinking it's been over a year. Have you ever spoken to Lorna and told her that she's not getting your texts and not answering you? Like I eventually blocked a couple numbers. Now recently, I was getting this number, this weird 1866 number, and at first, and it would leave messages on my machine that was just some automated thing, and it said like, you know, to block this, you could press 3, but of course it's a message, so you can't, you know, interact with it. So I had to unblock it just so that I could take the call, listen to the thing, and then actually press the button. Finally, that happened today, and you know what the automated thing? You know where the calls were coming from? The fucking correctional facility over in Dartmouth. I was getting calls from prison. It's probably one of the people that knows those people. It might even be one of them. I bet you it's one of those people who thinks I'm Lorna.
That's Lorna's old man.
Or old, yeah, exactly.
This is when you need to have a Cole's gay in your life and just be like, yo, we need to take care of this now. That's not me.
Dr. Chilton does enjoy his petty torments. Now, there is one sort of big flaw in this movie and book, and that is that it relies on the massive coincidence that Hannibal Lecter actually does kind of know Buffalo Bill personally. Like, that is a fact.
I was so dumb as a kid.
He does give false information, but he did know, like, in passing who this person was.
What orc?
I was so dumb as a kid. I thought Buffalo Bill lived in Buffalo and he was a huge Bills fan when I was younger. This was hearing it at like.
Does anybody
like
want to
6.
explain the name? Because she says it started off as a bad joke in the PD. This one likes to skin his humps. I still don't know what that means. But you skin the humps of a buffalo? Is that what you mean?
Who was Buffalo Bill? Was like some like, was he like the?
He did the Wild West show.
Yeah, but was it like Davy Crockett and all that shit? Wasn't he one of those guys?
No, he was more Old West.
Like
He's
Tombstone?
actually, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's the guy that's like most responsible for like the fake version of the Wild West we have, because he did like a Wild West show well into the 20th century that just played up all that bullshit. This always makes me think of 9/11. because I remember in the wake of 9/11, they had several big concerts in New York, and one of the big ones had, of course, it was stole the show, was The Who. But I remember, and this is back in the days of Napster, being able to like get some of those live performances. And the band I like was Goo Goo Dolls, and the Goo Goo Dolls did a cover of this, and that was the first time I'd ever heard the song without like knowing what it was. Like I know that it's a song by what's his name, Tom Petty. But I always think of the Goo Goo Dolls version, which they just did live at one of those 9/11 concerts.
Yeah, Jay, it's
So-
still this isn't. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It still shocks me that you don't like the Goo Goo Dolls, man. They were the shit back in the '90s.
Why does that shock you? Dude,
Because
I was
they're
into
good
Slayer
fucking
and shit. I was like Slayer and Pantera. That was my stuff.
Slayer and Pantera, they're a good band. You listened to Creed, didn't you? Because you're like Bible thumping down there. Fuck. Of course. Dude, you can't say
I
you
don't
like Creed.
think-
All sucks. That's like the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life.
I
Those
don't say
dudes-
they suck. I just didn't. I don't care for their music.
And I don't want the world.
And Creed was like they weren't like religious. Like they like came out as religious.
Well, actually,
like-
my favorite song by Creed might be like their most religious, because the only Creed songs I like were on their very first album, where they basically just sort of sounded like a Pearl Jam cover band before they,
Yeah.
changed their sound. What's it called? It's the song they use at the end of Halloween H2O, actually,
Oh, fuck, or can sing it.
where it's just like,
Can you take me high?
no, it's before that album. That was the album they blew up on, but it's the album before
No, and
that.
on Cole, know your movies, please, or else we'll have to kick you out of the group chat. Thank you.
It's the album before that, and all I can remember is, and it's the part where he says how we all live under the reign of the one king. He's like, I say the one king, one king. What song is that? Well, that's how Scott Stapp sang.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Everybody talk like you're from Alabama. Go.
Like I didn't even see this on YouTube. I saw this live as it happened on like TBS or some bullshit channel where they had like they were showing movies, but like in between they had like TV personalities in like some sort of fake casino. Anyway, and Scott Stapp was on there for no reason. He was drunk as hell. It's really funny. It's just like some poor woman host. They're in a casino and Scott Stapp's there, and they're just talking bullshit between the movies. I have no idea what purpose it served because TV was really in a strange place back then. And yeah, Scott Stapp was completely loaded. It was funny. Then you hear all the
Quite a
stories
bit.
about him and Kid Rock like banging strippers together and stuff. Yeah, Buffalo Bills, Ed Levine.
I love Nick Saban. He's the best.
Yeah,
He's my favorite.
So I'm sorry for your loss tonight, Jay. I'm not gonna say anymore.
So
It's
what
not
game
funny.
was that? Was that an NFL game or was that a college game?
Oh, it's college.
What college do you root for?
This was Mississippi State versus Kentucky.
So Mississippi lost.
I'll just put it like this: I'm a poser for the Patriots, but as diehard of a Leafs fan as you are, that's like Jay with Mississippi State football. It's like pretty much, it's almost equal, I'd say.
MISSISSIPPI. Woo. That's
Well-
gotta be a cheer, right?
They, yeah, I can't remember them ever losing to Kentucky before, so a pretty big loss.
And college football is the shit, but it's not like hockey and pro football where it's like, you have 82 games or 16 games over 17 weeks. In college football, maybe you can get into the playoff if you have 2 losses, but mostly if you get more than 1, you're fucked. Even
Wow, really?
1 is bad.
That's
Yeah,
not
if
much-
you don't go
not much
undefeated
room for error.
Yeah, in
No.
college, if you don't go undefeated, it's like considered like fucked up and you weren't successful, in my
Wow.
opinion anyway.
They've just started that playoff rule a couple years ago, and I don't know that I really care for it. But
Seems awfully
'Cause-
harsh.
last year, I don't think Alabama would have won. I mean, I don't think they would have had the opportunity to win if they didn't have the playoff rules, because they'd already lost to Auburn.
Here's the key to the case. She was the first killed, but the third found because she was weighed down in the river. And that's kind of what breaks the case open.
I
Why?
like
Because he didn't try to hide the.
person.
Yeah.
I like it, but I can see why you like 2 though. I like 4. I think the best number should be 8, and that wouldn't be making them play too many games. and it would be the top 8. Which, if you can't make the top 8, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs anyway. That's how I see it.
There's so many
I just
bowls. I can't keep it straight. There's like this bowl and that bowl. And there's too many.
the bowls
Well,
are
that's the
bullshit.
problem. They're all for money, and they're all
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
It's all
Yeah.
bullshit.
I don't even watch the best bowls. I just watch the Final Four. That's all I watch.
Yeah. I mean, I watch some of them, but it's like it's like you could suck ass and still go to a bowl game.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
and
they
you-
hype them up so much. I see commercials for them all the time. And I'm just like, who cares? But people do.
You're way more into college shit because you've been a fan of the school and then you went there too. But like, I can't relate. You don't make the Final Four and then you win the Tostitos Bowl and you hold up a bag of Fritos and a like golden Fritos fucking like, how is that an accomplishment? No, it's not.
Oh, it's
That's
not.
pretty
I mean,
ridiculous.
it makes some
Yeah.
money for the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. And
I don't know.
you get another win under your belt if you win.
As I
Yeah.
said, like college sports are so different in the U.S. because they lead to the pros for some people and stuff, and they make big money. But it's not like that here.
Well, what sucks is we have like college football is massive. March Madness is fucking huge too. I just wish we had like a North American combined like hockey league for collegiate, like, but not in this OHL, AHL, American college hockey league. Like, just combine it all and just make it a big ass league. That's what I would want to see.
You can't do that with hockey though, or you can't really do that with anything because, like I said, it's a different thing. Like if you are a teenage hockey player who's like a really good prospect, and I don't know, you want to go the college route instead of playing in the CHL, the major junior leagues. You play at a U.S. college because that's where the best players are, and that's what leads to it. If you're playing Canadian college hockey, that means your career is pretty much over, or you might be a minor leaguer someday. Like the percentage of players that played Canadian college hockey and then went on to the NHL is tiny because again, it's not much of anything. It's not it just usually it's the last hurrah for most players. Like if you played a major junior and you never got drafted or anything like that, well then you might play 3 or 4 years Canadian college hockey and then you call it a career, unless you really want to slog it out in some really low league or go over to Europe and try there. Because it doesn't. Yeah, we don't have athletic scholarships in Canada, which I think is right. I think athletic scholarships are asinine and stupid and take money away from the people that deserve them. But anyway.
So it's really free and well, it's not free, but it's a lot cheaper in Canada and manageable. And then here they just like hope you make it to the pros or you're a valedictorian. That's fucking hilarious. That's so funny. I never knew that until
So
now.
anyway, any U.S. hockey team U.S. hockey college team would destroy a Canadian one. They'd have way better players.
You know what's also funny is Wisconsin doesn't have a pro hockey team. That's hilarious
my God,
to me.
stop calling you fucking retard.
Well, yeah.
And they're not texting me. That's the weirdest thing. Usually, if you call somebody and they don't answer, you might send a text like, "Hey, you there? What's up?" They just keep calling. I guess I'll block the number now. I've had enough of this shit.
Jay, how do you feel about the NCAA fucking over basketball and football players? What's your stance on that? And then we'll get back to the movie. Sorry to derail. Yeah.
How so?
They play, let's say, for 2 to 4 years, let's say for football, and they don't get paid any money. They can't sign any autographs. And unless they're taking table, I mean, not money under the table or something or behind closed doors. Are you okay with that? If you make it, you make it. If you break your leg twice, you're fucked. Or how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, it gives a lot of guys a chance to get a education where they wouldn't have gotten one, like any other way.
I mean, I guess that's good. I still don't really agree with it.
But what percentage of guys are going pro anyway? I mean, I doubt like everybody.
Less than 1%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a ridiculously small number. So
that
but
is
it's not
true.
like
The athletic.
you're not gonna like go pro basically.
Well, that is true with the athletic scholarship. But if you're in the SEC for football, I mean, the big schools, a quarter of their players go pro every draft. Clemson, well, that's ACC, but Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, like 25%
Really,
of their players.
25%? That's pretty high.
Pretty close, yeah. I mean, when it's been Clemson and
It must be.
Alabama,
Where
like,
else are they coming from? Isn't that like the main place where players come from? Is there any other place that the players get drafted from in the NFL? Don't
Oh,
they
yeah.
all come from college?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
every once in a while there'll be some wild card out of Australia or something, but
Yeah.
But yeah, like
See, in
15,
hockey, it's a bunch of different leagues.
15 players went from Clemson and Alabama around that. But yeah, cool. Like for college, you have, besides all the minor leagues and collegiate colleges, for the NHL of college sports and here in the States is the SEC, Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know what teams play what. It's the same thing with the hockey too. Like,
I mean, I don't think it's fucking the players over. I mean, it's just another stepping stone.
some of the players have been fucked over, like how they made that NCAA basketball video game. They made a video game, like, and those players don't get a dime from that, right?
Well, that's why they quit making the games.
Yeah, they had to, but I mean, for a while, so they
Makes
were
it
kind of
look easy,
exploiting
too.
them.
I bought basketball and football.
I
Yeah.
see your point though. If they get a full ride athletic scholarship, yeah, then that's fair, I think. If it's only partial, then they can go fuck themselves. And they're playing for like
It's
Tennessee or something.
I don't like athletic scholarships. I think the whole premise is flawed. It's just a way to fast track somebody because you think that they can fill seats in your arena. It's got nothing to do with being a
I
student.
mean, we give them for everything. It's all sorts of sports. It's not just football.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't like it for any sport.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have it that here. We don't have any athletic scholarships here. I'm sure there's some people that think we should, but I think it's right.
It's like my nephew got a golf scholarship. So
lacrosse scholarship.
Not that people don't
That's
find
just-
ways around it, because actually, because actually one of the universities here, St. Mary's, is a big football place here. They win all the time, the Vanier Cup, which is the Canada one. They win it all the time. They've been winning for years, so their football program is pretty good. So I can't tell you how many fucking dummies they have over there that takes like sociology and business communications and stuff just because they're good at football. So
Yeah, I'd specialize in ghettonomics. That would be my fucking go-to.
yeah.
So yeah, we do like a whole national thing because you play in your area, but if you win, you get to go national and stuff. And over the years, St. Mary's has often gotten to play in the final and often won.
It's just sad because the last thing I'll say on this topic is you see guys who are really bright and they're playing for like Michigan or Alabama or Mississippi, and then you have guys that they only kick ass at football and they're just behemoths and they're smart, but they're not like, hey, I'm gonna be an offensive lineman and be a rocket scientist on the side and like get their, become a doctor.
Yeah, there are some that do, but it's
And
few.
that's who I feel the worst for, and that's all I'll say. But yeah.
But it's like, I mean, what would these guys be doing otherwise? It's like that's why they've got those rules in place where you've got to have a certain number of years under your belt before you can even qualify for the draft or declare
Yeah,
for the
2 years.
draft.
I mean,
Like
you said it's not really what they have. It's that's all they've done. Like
that's all they
of
work
course-
towards. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they've studied or trained or their whole lives. That's the part that kills me.
Well, to get to be that level, that's where where they're at. I mean, it's unfortunate in a lot of cases, but I mean, would you rather these guys just go straight out of high school and into the NFL? And how many guys could actually make a team? At least this way, some of those guys are getting an education.
Well, there's the bug cocoon. That's the big thing to break the case open. The first victim, third found, had the bug cocoon and everything. And here's the little talk about sexism. It matters, Mr. Crawford. Men look at you to see how to act.
I mean, sure,
I
it's
agree,
a flawed
but-
system. I mean, I'm not saying that at all, but
No. I see everything you're saying, but it's funny how with the big four in North America, hockey, baseball, basketball, and football, they all have their own like set of rules. Like hockey, you have to be 18 before and then like college, you have to do for football, you have to do 2 years. basketball, it's one and done, and it used to be you could be drafted when you're like 17, 18, and they're going to go back to that
But it's like LeBron. Like,
for Rico.
how many LeBrons are you going to have? You know, that are mature enough at 17, 18 years old to go off and be making decisions for their life like that. I don't know.
I know I'm fucking like triggering everyone. I'm not okay. I'm derailing us is the word I meant to say, not triggering. But one of
I'm
the
triggered.
greatest documentaries I've ever seen is 30 for 30 Broke. Oh my god, that one's awesome.
It's sad. These guys.
Well, they're cast right because they're a couple of fucking weirdos.
That dude who's cross-eyed, that's what it looks like when I climax.
Thanks for that.
Would you like to go get a bite to eat?
Yeah.
What?
It's like, do you eat Drake Burger? It's like he hits on her too. Yeah. He says, "Are you hitting on me?" He's like, "Yes." It's like, "Do you like cheeseburgers and beer?"
X gets the square.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I wonder if the two nerdy guys from Insidious were like the Juan took them from this movie. That was like the inspiration or something.
Man, how many times have you seen Insidious? Because I can't remember anything from it.
Well, there have been every movie. Aren't they in? I guess it's just Insidious.
Are they the Ghost Hunter guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's Specs and
Well,
Tucker.
One
That's
is
what
Lee
I wrote
Winnell,
about.
right? It's like Lee Winnell and the big Australian guy.
I don't know the name.
I've seen Insidious 1, 2, and 3 once each.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like Lee Winnell, the guy that just directed Upgrade. He's James Wan's boy. He co-wrote Saw.
Death's Head Moth. Fed him honey in the nightshade.
I
Yes,
have a cousin
Cat.
that's an entomologist.
Is he a weirdo?
She, I haven't spoken to her in like a really long time. She lives in Oklahoma.
Probably a weirdo.
And she probably is a weirdo, yeah.
Who is?
A cousin.
cousin.
Oh, cousin.
I just figure, I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a hard no or a hard pass on the Thanksgiving invite, Jay. It's just
Yeah. I don't.
what's in this
Now we
casserole?
just see
Oh,
Buffalo Bill in his
Jay.
lair. I mean, he really got lucky in getting this house because it has this crazy labyrinthine basement that just goes on. It's perfect if you want to be a serial killer because it's private and there's lots of room and space for things. There's a Bichon Frise, which is the type of dog I grew up with.
Say the name again.
Bichon Frise.
Really? Okay. I always thought that was just like a poodle.
No, it's a Bichon.
Okay. I'll be damned.
They actually became fashionable just around the time of this movie because it's funny because when we had our first one in the 80s and stuff, everyone was like, "Is that a poodle?" Like, no, it's a Bichon Frise, and people had no idea what it was. It became popular because Kathy Lee Gifford had two of them, and she used to talk about them on her show. They had stupid names. They were like Chardonnay, and I don't know. She named them after the wine.
How appropriate.
Yeah. So they
Chardonnay and overdose.
So they became quite fashionable after that. But our first Bichon, yeah, sort of a niche dog.
Chardonnay and half a Xanax.
Yeah.
There are some people that if I met them in person and there was a loaded gun and someone was willing to shoot me and I was like having dinner next to them at like Red Lobster or Applebee's, I'd just be like, yeah, pull the trigger. Do it 3 times, please. Thank you.
You want Kathy Lee Gifford to shoot you?
No, one of her bodyguards.
I see. Well, wouldn't you try to kill her first?
No, too much energy.
Well, disappointing. There's the senator bitching about Catherine. Yes, we get it. You keep saying Catherine to humanize her.
What a gilf this lady is. Oh my god.
I think Starling's friend is a little too impressed by this. She's like, "Oh shit, that's smart. That's really smart." I'm like, "It's not okay. It's the normal standard thing that you do."
Do they actually say that? Does she keep saying her name to humanize her?
Yeah.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, that's what she's doing right now. To treat Catherine better than the world around you have that power. She even says, "My daughter is Catherine" or something. Yeah, my daughter is Catherine. See? Ardelia. Boy, that's smart. Jesus, that's really smart. And then they ask for the explanation.
Oh, there it is.
And then she explains it. Those piercing eyes of Starling.
Oh, tell me when the lamb stops screaming, Chris.
I can't believe Jodie Foster. Like, Hannibal's not that great of a book or movie, but I mean, I still can't believe she turned down the role again. and
Wonder why.
I can't remember. There was a reason. I thought what's her name was arguably better.
Cole, do you like the book or the movie more for this?
This is one of the ones where it's all pretty much a tie because it's just a really solid adaptation. Like there's almost no differences.
But for Jurassic Park, they're both great, but you like Spielberg's adaptation more?
I like the book more, but I'm super impressed by that adaptation because it is quite different. And it proves that you can do an adaptation where you have to change things and cut things out and not completely fucking ruin everything. But usually, that's what happens, or at least in my opinion. But yeah, I really love that movie too. It's my favorite movie of the 90s, Jurassic Park. This one's right up there, though. I think I listed my top 190s on Letterboxd. I saw that, like, Rambo had done some insane list. His just keeps going. He just lists every movie he's seen in the 90s in order, which is crazy. I did 100.
By the way, if you suggested Rambo's current internet, go fuck yourself. Signed, Orc. Fucking
Whatever. He made his own
listen
decision.
to fucking idiots. I don't understand. I never will. Never have. I don't get it.
So you
So,
said
yeah.
top 25 for you. I would probably say top 10 for me.
Of the 90s?
No, of all time.
Yeah, all time it's top 25 for me. I
Top
can't,
25 for me,
I can't
too.
crack the top 10, but it's up there.
I mean, based on like movies that I watch constantly, you know.
I watch this movie constantly, yeah.
Like
I'll
if it's
often
ever
put it
on, I'm gonna sit and watch it and finish it, you know.
Yeah, and I even put it on in the background when I do things sometimes, just to have something familiar playing. It's just such a well-crafted movie. Every scene is really good. There's
And
no lulls. Everything looks good. Like I said, even the little things that I don't like as much, like they don't bother me that much. Because everything's so well presented and put together.
And the cable edit's really hilarious too. All the stuff Buffalo Bill says.
I haven't seen that in years.
It's really, really funny.
I'd say Jaws is better than this film. This is right below Jaws, and then I put The Exorcist third. No, that's not my official rank, but if I just had to rank 3 really good movies that are
No.
Oh, man,
really,
I like
really
Personally, I like it more than the other two.
yeah.
uh,
I know you're a big
Although
fan of
I
The
often say,
Exorcist,
to me,
yeah.
Jaws is the most like technically perfect movie I've seen. It's not my favorite,
Jaws,
but I think it's the most technically perfect movie I've seen.
this movie flows, but Jaws is just like it's what basically a 2-hour movie, and it just has so like the flow of the movie is so good. Like it's you've been counting money all your life.
I mean, Exorcist is like probably like number 2 on my list.
Oh wow!
What would number 1 be, Jaws?
Godfather.
Oh, Godfather.
I know it's so cliche to have Godfather as your number
cliche,
one,
yeah.
but like I
It's
saw it in the
cliche.
theater. Like I saw it in the theater a year or so ago, and it just kills it, man.
It's
Yeah,
cliche.
I don't
but,
know. I don't dislike Godfather. It's just not my thing. Like, it's not even in my top 100. I don't think.
Really?
No, what I
Wow.
dislike.
It just, I don't know. It just, I get everything that's good about it, but it just doesn't hit me the way it hits other people. I
Mhm.
guess. Like, I recognize how good it is and what a well-told story and well acted and everything, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have subject matter that appeals to me in the same way.
Mhm.
That's fine. I see both of what you're saying, but I really dislike people who say they go, "Oh, I don't like Godfather 1 or 2 because everybody likes it and it's, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Dude,
What's a
shut
dumb reason to like or dislike anything?
yeah."
Well, I mean, it's
There's
on
a few
like
people
every list of top movies. It's up there, you know. So it's
that's all they do is watch horror. There's nothing wrong with that. But they don't like any like Scarface or Godfather 1 and 2 or Taxi Driver just because they're like, "Oh, it's like popular," and blah, blah. And I'm like, "Shut the fuck
yeah.
up."
And I know
don't
I
hate
kind of come across that way because I'll often say, I like Godfather, it's fine, but my favorite
don't.
is, Once Upon a Time in America. That's my favorite American gangster film.
Sergio Leone.
That always makes me
You should
think.
watch that, Orc. It's got James Woods in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
That baby carriage though.
It's a long movie, but it's good. I mean, just like Godfather. I mean, Godfather's long.
I don't.
What I
mind
like
how-
about it is for the first half hour, you have no idea what's going on because you have to see the rest to make the first part really make sense. For the first half hour, you're like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know it, but it's good. It's on purpose.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's
just-
one I
just
definitely
stay
want to get to. If I'm comfortable watching a movie, I don't care how long the movie is, duration-wise, and I don't give a fuck if there's subtitles. It might take me a little while to get through it because I have no energy. Like Seven Samurai, that was a two-parter for me. I was just, I can't like very entertaining, great movie, but I had to watch it in two parts.
Well, I
couldn't
mean,
do
it's
it
a
all in one
training
go.
movie for anybody. You know, it's long. It's
long,
black.
isn't it?
It's long. It's black and white. It's
3.5 hours,
subtitles. You know, it's well over 3 hours.
Yeah, that's
3.5, yeah.
two-parter for sure.
Plus, there's like a natural break right in the middle, so it doesn't even feel too bad to break it up because there's like a spot that's almost like an intermission.
But yeah, I mean, you know how I see like hour and a half is regular length, like 2 hours, you know, that's not bad at all. 2.5 hours, I'm like, all right, this is, you know, I'm gonna have to set aside a little bit of time. 3 hours, like, you know, Hateful Eight or something like that, I'm like, whoa. And then Seven Samurai is 3.5 hours, and I'm just like, all right, it's a good movie, but I need to set aside like a whole afternoon, like a whole night, just to watch.
When I went to see the Chinese movie that I saw, it was Ashes Purest White. When the guy was presenting that movie, he like thanked us for like, you know, making sort of it's not a super long movie. It's 150 minutes, so you know it's about 2.5 hours. And he said, you know, he's like, I respect that you're making a sizable commitment to this, but he's like, if you want to do something really interesting, when there was a later movie, also a Chinese movie, on the schedule for later that night called, I think, something like The Elephant That Stood Perfectly Still. Anyway, my booklet's right there. Anyway, it is 3 hours and 50 minutes long.
So
And
basically,
like,
just 4
basically 4 hours, and like he was trying to sell it to us to like it would just be a unique experience just to see something that long in the theater. And I was kind of tempted, but you know I didn't go through with it. But I was like, that's true. Like, what's the longest movie I saw in the theater? Probably like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, I guess.
Insert Lord of the Rings movie here. Dude, Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King. If you got a large soda and you were halfway through that thing, you were fucked. Oh my god.
I mean,
like,
at least
but-
the theatrical editions are shorter, the extended editions, because it's almost 4 hours. Return of the King is almost 4 hours with the extended edition.
here's me at the end of Fellowship of the Ring because no one really knew about those movies and I hadn't read the books.
What do you mean nobody knew about those movies?
This movie has to end. I don't care where the fuck the ring goes. I gotta take a massive piss right now. And then they're like riding on the horses.
I give you
And
credit.
I'm just like,
When I have to pee in the movie, I usually do not make myself hold it. I get up and go because I'm fast.
I can't, man.
I can usually pick a spot where I know there's a lull and I go.
I can't. If I'm seeing, let's say when the new Halloween movie opens up, or let's say they did a new Matrix, but it wasn't dog shit. Like, I can't get up during those movies. I just can't.
You're
Well,
right.
I
There's
literally
certain
have to-
movies where I make a point to not do it because I'm like, I don't want to miss
The thing is,
anything.
figure out if you need to go before you get to about the halfway point because that's probably when shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to, I mean, like big reveals are going to come about. So,
But then a lot of movies, you know, like Audition, last 15 minutes, and then some movies it's the first 15 minutes. Like, I can't really come off the top of my head with one, but you know,
But I mean, I can be gone for less than 2.
really, wow.
that's too much for me. I might miss something, and then like I come back and
Well,
someone's
most
like,
of the
"Oh,
time,
DiCaprio," and she sucked his dick, and I'm like,
the only
oh,
time it's really difficult is at my close theater downtown. If you're in the big one, which is the best one, that's the furthest down. So it's the furthest from the bathroom. So I actually run, you know. But other times, like I'm pretty much like right next to the bathroom. I can be back super fast.
we've seen a lot of movies though, but my plan now is almost barely hydrated enough, no food in the morning, like a glass of water, and then I just go in.
Planning your
Like,
day around it.
if it's gonna be 2.5 hours or longer, like I don't eat or drink anything, like just the bare minimum, and I go see a matinee.
But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's common sense. It's just like it's the same way I did like rock shows and stuff like that. Like I would go to like festivals, and I would just starve myself or whatever. I didn't bring a backpack with a bottle of water. I'm not gonna because I want to be up front. I don't want security to take me across and go through my backpack. Like I wear whatever is lightest. I bring nothing and I go and I'll stand for 6-7 hours and I'm happy.
Well, I mean, you could stick like bag full of X up your ass.
I could, and I'm sure they want to check for that. But here we go. Here comes the big political wheeling and dealing meeting with the senator. Like, you want to be a gentleman. Yeah.
Where's my pen? Damn it!
I'm so unprofessional. Oh.
That was a cross pen, by the way. If you guys aren't familiar. Very nice.
what?
Pen. Cross.
Oh. I'm familiar with pens. I'm a writer. I know all the fancy pens.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they're not super fancy, but
Yeah. Well, I just mean I collect pens, and I know some names and stuff.
It's Drake to me. It's so.
didn't mean to underestimate your pen knowledge.
I'm so offended.
No, I'm like my dad.
I'm really
always
offended.
uses
He wasn't
kinds,
big.
so
Didn't buy it. Fuck you, Drake. Seriously.
my dad kind of collected them. So.
This is one of the first things that taught me that Baltimore is a horrible hellhole. Before I started seeing Homicide: Life on the Street, and then of course The Wire.
Poot and Dookie show up and ruin everybody's dinner.
Because it's just like, take this thing back to Baltimore. Because Baltimore, that's where Hannibal Lecter and all the crazies are housed, in Baltimore.
That's where Omar's sucking dick. Feels bad, man. In that show now for the first time because they all have pagers. It's like kind of unrelatable.
and burners.
Yep.
Burner phones.
But one the other thing that's good about this movie and Red Dragon and the books they're based on is that the writer comes up with a clever way for our main character hero to come into contact with the serial killer in a way that actually makes sense. Because the biggest problem with a show like Criminal Minds is they're a bunch of profilers, and yet they're constantly going in with the SWAT team and coming face to face with these killers, and they're often in a shootout with them or some sort of armed standoff, and that never happens in real life. The profilers don't go anywhere near the killers. You don't risk your valuable profilers in that way. Plus, they're simply not trained for that either. They might have some basic field testing, but you always send in your SWAT for these dangerous things. But I get, they want to add to the drama. But in this, they think of smart ways. She's not supposed to go after Buffalo Bill. She just winds up running into him by following what looks like a false lead. And the same thing with Red Dragon. He even says at one point to his wife when she's concerned, he's like, "Don't worry, it'll be the cops that take him down. I'll never even see him." But then when he fakes his death and specifically comes after him, because it actually comes up with a clever way of having them face off instead of just having a nonsensical way as they do in stuff like Criminal Minds. Because, that would never happen. You don't send your profilers after the killer to, arrest them. Love your suit. So, yeah. Lecter's great, because he really likes to hurt people any way he can.
And he doesn't get, a sexual thing out of it either.
Which is another reason why he's even though he's a fucking cannibal, what should be a much bigger taboo, people can still like him and root him, because people are always icky. They're always about the sex. If the killer does any sort of sexual thing or rape or anything like that, then they're awful monsters. But you can almost still sort of root for Hannibal, because you're just he doesn't rape anybody, and he only kills really rude, stupid people. He's actually helping the world. But then you also see that, no, he'll also fuck with people and hurt them and kill them if they get in his way, and all this other stuff.
He's a hero.
He doesn't care about Catherine, and he's emotionally taunting her mother, saying, "I wonder how you'll feel when she's on the slab," and stuff like that. Again, he doesn't care. He has no empathy.
Real talk. All the people who jizz over Batman and shit, they're like, "Oh my god, Hannibal was my Batman growing up." That was because he's way smarter than everybody, and he's
an evil Batman.
What?
Not all heroes wear capes, guys.
This is true. Some heroes murder people and eat them.
What are you saying, Cole?
Yeah, I don't know. Jay just said not all heroes wear capes, and I said you're right. Some heroes murder people and eat them.
Oh, you said something about Batman.
Well, I just said, like me, I'm a person that jizzes all over Batman, obviously.
Well, yeah, but for good reason.
I can't wait to buy that comic that shows his junk.
Oh, man.
But, people are crazy about, Batman and Superman and getting tattoos and pajamas and shit. I'm like, fuck that shit, man. Like the Nolan trilogy is awesome. Nicholson's a savage, but this is my Batman growing up. Fuck, I'm not into all this shit. Now I am because Cole brainwashed me, but yeah.
This whole reveal right here, or that's about to come up, so great.
Just bringing him the drawings. So this is all going according to his plan. Good evening, Clarice.
I smelled your menstruating again.
Yeah.
It's that Subway, Clarice. BLT Club
Is that a foot long tuna?
Meatball Marinade. Slide the foot long under the bars, Clarice.
Which is the worst
Also-
part of how they changed Hannibal. Like
Stop.
this idea that they have a relationship is ridiculous. Never liked that. And Harris did that himself. Never liked that. Them running off and becoming lovers. It's fucking ridiculous.
So Cole, was Daredevil the guy you like looked up to most growing up as like just a cool comic book figure?
Daredevil? No, I was
Yeah.
probably older when I got into Daredevil. I mean, I love him now, but
So
when,
your team.
when I was young, it was like Spider-Man. Like, he was the guy I most wanted to be like. I loved his power. I mean, it's still the same thing. Is there a
Yeah, I
dog
get what
attacking
you're-
somebody? Are you being attacked, Jay?
It's fucking dogs, man. Hold on. Let me mute.
I love dogs.
His dogs are awesome.
But no, I was older.
Spider-Man?
I was older when I became a big Daredevil fan, probably. But yeah, Spider-Man, Spider-Man and Batman, they're still the two big ones. Although Moon Knight's my absolute favorite nowadays. But growing up, Spider-Man was the one I thought I liked. He was fun. You know, he's fun. He swings around. He does flips and jumps around. He
He has a hot girlfriend. I mean,
he makes wisecracks. Yeah, he's got a supermodel girlfriend.
It was awesome because the comics were pretty good. I didn't read many of them, obviously. The trading cards were fucking awesome. Games
That's
like
how
Max-
that's how we got into the comics. Really, was we corrected the cards first.
Yeah,
those are so cool.
Yeah, Ryan still has so many of them.
yeah, I love those videos I did.
I'll have to show mine off. I have a binder around here somewhere.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Oh.
Shut up.
DMX, we'll just start rapping soon.
At least my cat's being quiet. He's being quiet, aren't you? You're being quiet. Good girl.
He's like, "Yo, Jay, you making bacon or what?"
This is
Okay.
how, like, most people learned what quid pro quo meant, I'm pretty sure, is this movie. I'm sure it's how I learned it. Like, I know Latin.
This is the first time that I ever saw a nipple piercing. I know that for sure.
Oh yeah, I've seen many since, but this was the first.
My fourth girlfriend had nipple piercing. I didn't really like it. I just thought it got in the way.
This is what we need to do. All right, we figured out how to get all this set up. Now, nipple piercings instead of NCAA and sports. And what's more racist? We figured it out, guys. High five.
Yeah, I used to have mine done. Until one got ripped out.
Ugh,
Ooh.
that would be so painful.
It's unfortunate. It
What's
looks like
the
Kermit the
movie-
Frog now. It like healed all fucked up, so it looks like it's got a mouth like.
Oh,
God.
God. What's the movie where it's some kind of action movie where he rips someone's nipple ring out? No, it's fuck. Oh god damn it, I can't remember what the movie was. Hang on, I'll come back to that. I think it was Tommy Boy or Black Sheep or one of those movies. I think.
There's a scene in another good sort of serial killer movie that I love from the 90s. Fuck. What is it called? Primal Fear. Where one of the guys he's running down has all these piercings and it's the black guy who's what's his name's helper, I think, or is it? I can't remember if it's the black guy who's his helper or if it is Richard Gere himself. But anyway, it is one of one of those street guys, and he rips one of his piercings out. I don't remember where it was from. It wasn't a nipple, but it was somewhere. Here's the story of the lamb.
Yeah, I think that's been in a few movies, both ear and nipple.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna be like some sort of street tough, you shouldn't have stuff like that. It's an
Was it-
obvious vulnerable point. I mean, I would
Was
go
it-
for it if some idiot attacked me.
Was it it was, I think it was a movie with Chris Farley. Was it Black Sheep Tommy Boy or one of the Wayne's World movies?
I don't
Someone-
remember it in any comedic movie.
Oh, someone gets their fuck. I can't remember. Oh shit.
I just remember like the tough good guy doing it against the bad guy to make him scream. Bozeman. What a stupid name for a place. Bozeman, Montana. If you're from Bozeman,
Please stop.
you're a bozo. So wake up sometimes, don't you? Wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lambs.
You envision him fucking you.
And Bride of Chucky, doesn't the guy get his nipple ring torn off?
Oh, probably.
Maybe that's what it's from. Yeah, I was way off.
Like I said,
Way off.
I can think of several movies where they do that, including Primal Fear. Thank you, Clarice. He's so happy now. You told me your deepest pain, and that makes me happy. So I think I'll do something nice for you. Even though originally I didn't care, and I was happy to let you fumble around like an idiot. And Dr. Chilton's here to drag her away. Chilton
Did
hates
you
her just
say
because she's taking the spotlight away from him. He's such an ass.
This was your favorite horror-ish movie from the 90s, you said, Cole?
I guess so.
I almost wouldn't even consider it a horror movie, but I know it is. But
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
don't
mainly-
either. I think of it more as a crime drama.
drama, yeah, totally.
But I mean,
no,
you know, I like serial killer movies, and this is probably
You were just
the
saying.
best one. And I love Seven too. Obviously, I love Seven.
You were just saying your top films of the 90s. That's what we were talking about before, correct?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is what. Well, this is top 10 in the 90s.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I almost put like serial killer type films and crime drama, all that stuff, kind of in the same category, not
Yeah.
horror.
In order for it to be horror, the serial killer has to be kind of like supernatural in a Mike Myers sort of way. Then, if you're gonna be a killer,
Very gory
for
or
the-
something.
or yeah, overly
For the-
gory or something.
For the 90s, I don't know what my top 5 would be, but easily top 3: T2, Jurassic Park, and this movie. Easy.
They're all up pretty high for me. Well, Jurassic Park. I mean, T2 is not top 10, but it's up there. But
Ooh, not
so
top 10.
speaking of 90s
Oh.
crime drama, you finally saw LA Confidential. What'd you think about it?
Great movie. I've never seen Memento though. Not really ashamed to say it, but so I didn't really know much about Guy Pearce. I've only seen him in a few things. But he was
Super
good.
underrated.
Crow was good. Who was the other guy? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Kim Basinger.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey and Kim Basinger. Yeah, all those three actors and actresses.
I thought
were
Kim
really good.
Basinger was awful, and she's the one that won the Oscar. I thought her character was
No, well,
so
she's
dumb
like
and
sucking
cliche.
dicks left and right, and it's fucking hilarious. That shit's awesome.
I just thought her
And she's-
character was so dumb and cliched, I guess.
And she's banging in her late 40s in that movie. I'm like, fuck yeah.
She's in her
I
late
do have
40s
hope.
in that movie?
What is she, like 75 now?
Yeah, about, yeah.
I don't think
Wow.
so. I don't think so. She might have been in her late 30s. I don't think
Oh,
she was.
yeah, no.
This is 1997. I'm pretty sure she wasn't in her late 40s.
Anyway, she's hot as fuck. That's what I'm trying to make.
Anyway, it's a movie that
Oh, yeah,
seems it was a big deal at the time, but it seems to be almost forgotten now. Nobody
Where's
ever
the
seems to
pen?
talk about it. James Cromwell's in there. He's good.
I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in, what is it, America? Is that the title of the movie?
Yeah, that's the gangster movie I was talking about.
What would you say, since I've seen every other crime genre that's like really well known or has really good ratings or et cetera, what would you say the equivalent is for TV? Obviously, Sopranos is number one. And then, not including Breaking Bad or The Wire, though, it has to be like, mafia-ish kind of,
I don't know. I don't watch any of that. My favorite crime dramas on TV are like Daredevil.
But like Sopranos is really popular, but then a lot of people talk about like Mad Men, and I know that's a good show, but I've never seen it.
It's
And
not a
on
crime
Netflix.
drama though. It's just about a sociopathic ad executive.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's about an ad firm in the 60s. They're just like guys that like come up with commercials and shit. And like the main guy is John
Yeah.
Hamm, and he's like super smooth and cool, and everybody likes him, but he's like a total sociopath.
That's your new Batman.
I have no idea. I don't think he should be. As Eric said, like,
Yeah, I agree.
enough with the old Batmans. Get somebody decently young so they could actually play the role. Like, this revolving door of Batman over the years is just embarrassing.
If it's not Seal on the soundtrack,
Oh, this is such a badass scene, by the way. We're talking through, like, this
that
scene
nose.
gave me fucking nightmares, this scene, man.
this didn't give me nightmares. I was like 7 when I saw it, and I thought it was amazing. I loved it. Oh,
Just
fuck
the brutality.
and he doesn't just beat his fucking head in. He like waves it around like he's a fucking opera house. Fucking
Yeah. Isn't that the music going in the background right now? Is opera? I don't have my
No, it's
sound
just
on.
classical.
Classical, okay.
well, like the way he lifts up the
Well, here,
baton, it's like a Broadway
Well, right
show.
now
He's
the
like,
soundtrack's on, but in a second it'll revert back. It's a little like piano concerto or something.
he's like classically killing
There it
him
is.
with the most effective hits.
He's like doing it to the music,
Yeah,
like he's
he's
conducting.
conducting. He's conducting. Yeah. And there, now he's waving around.
But to be a criminal and be this smart, that's just not something you want to be, obviously. But it's like holy shit. But every day stuff like this, like anything like this could happen. That could happen goes away, which is obviously for the better. But you know, not if you're a Zodiac dude in the '60s. You know.
If we're being realistic, he would have fucked at least one of these dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killers this violent pretty much don't exist.
And he
having a
basically
sexual
what
component to it.
dicks in pockets. So
But again, that's one of the things that makes him appeal. Even though, again, people should be way more put off by cannibalism than rape. But anyway,
It's like, why are you not more offended by violence than nudity?
yeah.
Or
You add sex into stuff and it makes people super uncomfortable.
that's
I
one
love
thing.
this guy's
Like America,
mustache. Love his mustache. Sorry.
yeah. No. Who's the
It's
dude
like
who's
all
in?
the way across his face.
Who's the dude who's in the show who has it and it curls? The British guy? You know who I'm talking about.
British guy.
Doc Hollywood?
No. Fuck. It's like a murder mystery TV show. He's got the curly mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about Poirot? Are you talking about Poirot?
Yeah, he's talking
I
about murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I do not want to see the new stupid version of it with fucking like he looks ridiculous. But yeah, that's a brilliant show. That's like the best casting ever in all time. Is David Suchet as Hercule Poirot. Oh my god, there'll never be anything better than that.
Quite a mustache.
Yeah, but don't go by that stupid weird gray monstrosity that was in the new movie. That looks fucking ridiculous. He looks nothing like the character. He's supposed to have a black mustache. Awful.
That movie was very boring.
I have no interest in it. If you want to see the movie, watch the 1974 version. Even though that's not the best Poirot, it's still a good movie. Sean
You're
Connery.
saying the killer stuck with you when you were a kid, Cole? That didn't do shit for me. This was the nice scene. And then when he ripped his face off, his second face.
What is this guy pointing at? He's pointing at the fucking ceiling.
Yeah,
He's in the wrong way.
yeah, I know.
think-
Just in case he's like up in the vents behind them.
Guys, it's like it's the Exorcist 3. Like you think he's gonna be.
All right. You cover the ceiling and look behind us. Like
I've seen Exorcist 3. I know what happens, guys.
Covering the door frame behind them.
It's like you're in the middle of like the Middle East somewhere. It's like I've seen Rambo 2, guys. I know what's up. Trust me on this one.
Bruce missing and arm.
Yeah. He's alive. And he's wearing a dead skin mask.
I can understand them not knowing that.
Sure. All the blood.
All the blood, and you're just so freaked out. Look, he's actually bubbling up. The actor's a good actor.
It's obviously him now. Like I could tell that's Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. And yet it's still such misdirection that it, like, I'm pretty sure it would have fooled me the first time I saw it.
Yeah. But granted, this is, HD quality and
Yeah, that too. There's Chris Isaac.
So I'm on a dating site, LecterFansMeet.com, and I want to find a chick that's as badass, but like in Hannibal Lecter form. That's who
Is
I
it-
want to just.
Is it
my
meat
life
like
with.
MEAT?
What? It'll cut off your dick and eat it?
No. I mean, just we can have like bacon that's raw and stuff. American things.
If you say so.
But instead of botanical gardens, it's like let's
Lecter's
go
not
to the
American.
farm. What?
But Lecter isn't American.
Lecter is a patriot. What are you talking about, Cole?
Well, he's an American citizen, but he's not American born.
You damn well, yeah, you bet your ass he is. As American as it gets. When you go
Hannibal Lecter.
when he takes off the second face, he should just eat a grilled cheese sandwich. That's how American he is. Okay.
Well, America already has so many serial killers. It's kind of sad that they also have to have a foreign one come over. It's like, we have enough, God damn it.
Cole, don't be jealous, okay? I'm tired of you with this attitude.
I'm
please.
definitely jealous of all the famous American serial killers.
Look at all the great films they've given you. Just don't say that. Yeah. I mean, you take Wisconsin out of it and maybe Florida, you don't even have half these movies.
Yeah, I know. Wisconsin.
California was a big one.
California,
Yep.
oh, well, has to be. Like Richard
California.
Ramirez.
Home of Zodiac. That's
Zodiac
a movie
very
I know.
well could have been like 10 different guys. I mean,
That's a movie I know you're
Never
not too
gonna
big on it.
know.
And one I'm gonna check out is Monster. I haven't seen that, and that's on Prime, I think. But Zodiac, I know you're not too big on, Jay, but I fucking love that movie. That's
I like it
one
a
of
lot.
the slowest burns.
I like stuff that's about a real case.
Yeah,
yeah, it's bullshit though. Half the stuff they talk about is not true.
yeah. But I mean, if you take the slasher mentality, though, I mean, do you enjoy it then, or
Well, a lot
no?
of it's true, like the whole thing about the talk show and meeting the guy, the thing about the ciphers.
Well,
The killings are reenacted pretty realistically.
it's as true as like JFK is. Like, yeah, JFK got shot in the head, but come on.
I don't even remember JFK. It was a fucking boring ass movie.
I feel the same way about Zodiac and JFK.
Really? Wow.
I liked Jake Gyllenhaal in it. As I've said many times, I think Ruffalo was miscast because he was only like 33 when that movie came out, and he's like going, "I've been a cop for 20 years." It's like, what are you talking about?
Some of the most
You were a cop when you were
terrifying
10?
scenes I've ever seen on film, though, is when he's walking up on the couples in the park. There's no music, there's no soundtrack, and you just see a dude with a fucking bag on his head, or the mask he has coming towards him.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that was me in the early '70s, like what the fuck, like fuck that. And you're like, hey, how's it going? And then he's just like walking towards you, like fuck that. Here we go.
Well, I mean, what really probably happened is he either got crippled or so old he couldn't kill anymore, or he died.
Yeah.
You know, or it was multiple people. If it was one guy, that's probably what happened.
But we'll never know.
But I mean, everybody knew his calling card.
When I saw that and I was 7, I was like, oh Jesus, because I was like, where'd he go? I don't know.
But again,
Where-
he spaced out the murders. He kept it pretty damn random.
Yeah. It's like BTK. It's like he's so smart, but then he sends an email from his fucking church computer.
Yeah, I know. He was so ahead of them. They had nothing. And then
Like,
he just
you had to go brag, you know.
Yeah.
You had to,
Yeah. Ardelia. What a
It's
dumb.
like
name.
that's what he got off on more than anything.
Yeah, that's how a lot of them. Yeah, like sense of superiority.
Mhm.
Who sent the
Fucking with
email?
the cops.
Son of Sam was like that too, wasn't he?
No, he
Yeah,
didn't
which guy
taunt
sent the-
anybody.
Oh, he didn't. Okay. I'm
No.
sorry. What?
Which guy sent the email and then got caught?
Oh, that was the BTK.
BTK.
killer.
Was that the guy who was fucking people's corpses?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I don't think so. He was
think that was
bind, torture, kill.
The Green River Killer is maybe.
Yeah,
who
he was a big corpse fucker.
Does he have an actual name or just a bunch of rap fucking
Gary Ridgway.
Gary Ridgway? Okay. I thought he had a bunch of rap aliases, and that's like all he went by. Big Daddy Kane, what was it like? Mushu Hustler 55 or some shit. Cool. You want to have a good time? Just go on a rap name generator and
Oh yeah, it's fun stuff.
Big Daddy Kane 55 no shoe or something. I don't know. It's funny.
Snowshoe.
My friends and I at school years ago made up a rapper who was named Neck Crime.
Neck
I like
crime.
I always
That's
thought
a
that
good
was great.
Right there.
He would talk about like breaking people's necks or slashing their throats and stuff. He was all about neck crime, so he was called Neck Crime. That was pretty good. The covet thing.
I figure where else I've seen this girl or woman. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, ladies.
Her friend Ardelia? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, beautiful Ohio. Look at that. Beautiful.
Shot next to James's house.
Looks like a river of sludge.
It is Candyman. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she was the
She gets murdered, doesn't she?
Candyman. Yeah, very violently.
Candyman's a cool movie. It was a different sort of thing. And having recently read the original story, like I like how they changed it for the movie. And give it this whole former slave angle and stuff. It's kind of cool.
That's based on a novel.
It's a short story by what's his name, Clive Barker.
Oh, right. Yeah, I haven't read that. I need to read that.
Jay, when you
In
watch
the original, it's
documentary,
like most of the stories, it's set in London, and like there's no mention that like he's like a black guy. He's just like a guy. They add the whole thing of the black urbanness, which I like. The whole thing, they're in that place in Chicago, and the idea that he was a former slave that got killed for having a relationship with a white woman and stuff. That was all kind of cool. Very different for a slasher to have that kind of atmosphere. Plus, it was a seriously dangerous movie to make because they made it. What's that place called? Something Greens or something?
Cabrini Green.
Yeah, which was like, there's like a murder every 5 minutes there and stuff. Awful.
What were you saying, Or?
the Hellraiser documentary. Have you seen both parts or just the first? Because I can't find the second part.
Oh, I didn't realize it was 2 parts.
I haven't seen it yet.
Leviathan, is that what it's called?
Yes,
Yep.
I think so.
Well, I've seen whatever is on Shudder. I didn't know that there was
That's
multiple.
just part one, apparently.
What the fuck? Why would they only put 1 part on there?
I don't know, but I was gonna watch that earlier before we got this figured out. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching so many series and documentaries and stuff lately. I haven't really watched any movies.
There's so many of them now. Every fucking time anybody from wherever the fuck you live, it's because they're all Netflix originals. You open up Netflix and it's like, Amy Schumer gets fucked on stage, and then it's like, did he do it in the high security prison, part 29? 10.
I'd watch that.
10 episodes. They have
so much
every
content.
week. They have something like that. Like I Was the Killer, that one, and then there's fucking Staircase, I Shit My Pants, Making a Murder, 57.
Those are all good. Staircase,
The
they
one I
only
still haven't
did-
checked out that I really want to do.
Staircase is real?
Yeah.
I thought Orc was just saying nonsense.
Nope.
No, Staircase is like
I don't know what that
it was
is.
like a 10-part series, but they did like an additional 4 episodes and slapped Netflix original on it.
What was it about?
Here's how-
real life cases or fiction?
This guy threw his wife down a staircase.
In real life?
Yeah.
But here's how much of
They made a bunch of episodes?
documentaries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Haven't finished Making a Murderer. I really want to watch The Jinx. I've watched the first bits of
I'm definitely not watching The Jinx. I don't give a shit about that. That's Robert Durst,
Paradise
isn't it?
Lost. Those I just can't. I know I'm missing on one. But
Isn't that
yeah,
Robert
all
Durst?
those.
Yeah.
I am not at all interested in his case. I couldn't give a fuck. Nothing about it
Good.
appeals to me. Fat girl posing.
It's a good show.
I've just never been interested. I'm sure it's well done. I've just never been interested in that case.
Well, like for the time we grew up, I can't even watch the first Paradise Lost movie, just because I know I'll like it so much. But like, I don't even want to experience once in my life. It's like reverse cocaine to me.
Well,
I don't know. I
think
can't.
What? I don't know what you're saying.
reverse cocaine.
Reverse cocaine. I don't even want to watch the first Paradise Lost because I just see the first 5 minutes of when they're looking at the creek with the bikes, and I'm like, I don't even want to experience this yet. Does that make sense? Probably not.
No, I don't. I
Like,
don't know what you're saying.
you think it's gonna be so good, like you don't want to see it?
I'm not sure what you're
Yeah,
articulating.
it seems like it's making a murder on crack, and I've only seen half of that first season,
Oh, it's
and that's
way
why
better than making a murder. It's a much cooler case for
I
one
know,
thing.
and that's so I start watching it, and then I'm like, nope. The two times I've tried to watch it, I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna enjoy it so much, I'm just gonna pass.
Pass or just pass entirely, or just mean put it off for a better time?
Put it off, but I just keep putting it off because even something as simple as Beware of the Slender Man, which Jay told me about
Yeah, I watched
creepy
that.
pasta, you know, like that was really good too.
Those two stupid girls. I
Paradise
would.
Lost is good, but I think now watching it, knowing that they're out, would be a lot different experience than watching it
Well,
before
weren't
when they're
they
still in prison.
with Making a Murderer season 2? Like they found out what happened with him, and they're still gonna release the second season, but like something happened. Did you guys hear about that?
I
Making a
didn't know
murder.
anything happened.
Yeah,
The
something changed in the case, and then they were gonna release the
Oh,
second season.
Well, his
And
nephew got released.
yeah.
That's all I know that's happened since. And
I
I
know,
think
like
he's
he was on like Dr. Phil with like some stupid woman that had fallen in love with him, and she was like a normal, and you would be really surprised because she was super normal and articulate and intelligent. You're like, what the fuck? Because he's, even if he's not a murderer, he's like
what is
borderline
that? Is it just
retarded.
like I'm in jail, like my panties are wet as fuck? Like
Yeah. But anyway,
because all these guys get married in fucking prison.
within like a few
like,
weeks of that,
And
like
they're
he
all
like
like
they broke up, and he was like saying like she was some sort of like gold digger. I'm thinking, gold digger? You don't have any money. You're poor as shit, and you're an accused murderer in prison, and everybody thinks you did it. Like, I get maybe she's attracted to your fame, but anyway.
Clive Barker said best. Here's what Clive Barker said. He's like, Pinhead, who hasn't done a single nice thing through 8 movies at the time, through 8 movies, but still, I receive fan mail of women wanting to bear his children.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
I
have to
was
say,
like,
like, sexually, women are way more fucked up than men. We get, Bichon.
bacon, get the
Because,
bacon,
yeah,
Jay.
I mean, that's always a known thing. No matter how sick and depraved some serial killer is, there's, like, legions of women that want to do them. And
Yeah,
and sometimes it's like, oh, just because they're handsome, but other times they're not handsome either. It's just,
most of the time they're not.
yeah.
All
do
these
you think
idiots
just
on
because
death
something
row are fucking hicks,
attract,
man.
yeah?
So what orc? Sorry.
Do you think something attracts them to them, or they're just
Yeah.
not educated, or what?
Something,
Or both?
the danger attracts them, the infamy
That
attracts
nip,
them.
that nip though.
I'm thinking back to Jay. Sorry, Jay. I don't want to go back in time here. Oh,
It's a weird cut for a Bichon. You wouldn't really cut a Bichon that way anymore. Ours didn't look like that.
well, of course you wouldn't cut a dog, Cole. Jesus.
Talking about the fur.
We're in the
Bichons usually have a more full beard. It's
Oh,
very
really?
cute. This dog seems to have doesn't have the beard. It has like a thin
Oh
snout.
man,
But Bichons usually the show cut, their heads look perfectly round because of the way they cut it with the ears and the face. So they look like they have like big round heads, even though they don't. It's just the way the fur looks. But they're great dogs. They're much sturdier than a poodle, and they're much more better tempered. They're great with children. They're very cheerful, happy dogs, and they're very sturdy. Our second one lived to be almost 17. And also, if you're like allergic or you're worried about shedding, Bichons don't shed. They have wool-like fur. They don't shed at all. So that's another thing that makes them appealing for certain people. You don't have to worry about their fur getting all over the place.
The last one your family had, what year did he or she pass?
It wasn't super long ago because I was actually living in this building. So it might have been 2012.
Okay.
I want to say 2012. I think it was 2012. Because yeah, we got her in '96. So yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This scene doesn't make me uncomfortable, but it's just so fucking weird.
I just like it. It's awesome.
Oh my god.
It's a good glimpse into the killer's psyche, which is, I am very pretty.
Wait a second. You don't think the greatest Olympians of all time got his thing from this movie? Did you?
Who?
Do you?
What?
I mean, Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh
You
yeah,
think he saw this movie
Caitlyn.
and
I
he
don't
was
know.
just eating Ben and Jerry's and it just fucking pushed him over the edge, just a little tap. Just fucking. He's like, I'm chopping my dick off.
Maybe it inspired. I don't know. Because I mean, yeah, the point is, but
He
he's a
turns
different.
to
But as I said, like Buffalo Bill is not actually a transsexual, right? He's not a
Yeah.
man trying to be a woman, or you know what I mean. I'm not trying to offend anybody,
No,
but in the
but
terminology.
he's
And as
about
they
to get the sex. Sorry, good.
I was just gonna say, as she points out, like it can't be a real transsexual. Transsexuals are almost never violent. And he's like, no, he's not a transsexual. He's sort of pretending to be one, or whatever. Anyway,
But imagine he's about to get the sex change, and
Yeah.
he goes, "Do I put shit on my skin?" And his doctor's like, "What the fuck?" I know, touchy subject, but I had to go there. I love in all these Midwest towns in the country I'm from. It's just like all this crazy shit happens.
all
Hey,
these serial killers.
what is there was a case or it was something that actually happened. It was about this guy who was raping, I think, this little girl, and but it was in like a really populated suburban area. And you said it was something you never knew about and no one knew about it for like 40 years. And I know this has happened a
Oh,
few
that
times.
thing where like he had he was keeping, he had like 2 or 3 women that he was like keeping in his house.
Yeah, but like a really long time. Like
I think it was like
Gacy had
I think it
nothing
was
else.
I think it was like 10 years. If it's the guy,
Yeah.
if it's the guy I'm thinking, it was like 10 years.
Yeah, but for no one to notice for a fucking decade? That's
Yeah,
insane.
and he was like right in the middle of suburbia, like houses all over. It wasn't like an isolated house
Yeah.
at all.
That's
One of them eventually escaped, which is how it happened. But
that shit's fucking nuts, man. 10 years? You're just going out to the mail and you don't hear someone fucking yelling?
this is pretty well set up because you think, oh, they're gonna come get him, but no, they're going to the wrong house where Lecter sent them, and Starling is going to wind up. Look, they're even
That's
doing
what
the cliche thing where it's like, oh, it's flower delivery. Like, did the FBI really do that?
I think it's one of the best
flower
lines.
delivery and have the guns in the big long box and stuff. Like,
Terminator,
you see that in like TV and movies, but I don't know if it actually happens.
Terminator 2 style.
Yeah.
But that's one of the best lines in movie history, I think. And it's on one of my favorite metal songs too, from
What is?
Children of Bodom. You don't know what pain is, and I think everyone can relate to that line throughout their lives. You don't know what pain is.
I love how loud the doorbell is down in his basement. It sounds like a fucking fire alarm.
I saw this movie so long ago that I didn't remember the swastikas being on his blanket.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and it probably doesn't really mean anything. It's just, I don't think it really necessarily means he's a Nazi or identifies with the Nazis, but he's just like, I'm a fucked up guy. I like fucked up shit.
Yeah, we got to establish that he's that much worse of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's not here, so we're safe. Even though I love you, Mike. You're the man.
Mike likes Nazis?
I've got a
No,
little
he hates that everything is about Nazis. He's like, fuck,
Oh, is that right?
Oh, that people sometimes accuse him of being a skinhead or whatever?
No, it's that, but then how everything is, like the Call of Duty World War II, there's only Iron Crosses, there's no swastikas, and just all, like, everything's Nazis, like Man in the High Castle and all that shit, it just triggers them.
So I guess that show is really different from the book, which is too bad. Like, the book's awesome. They don't need to change it, but I guess they do a whole bunch of, like, they even have Hitler as like a character on the show, which I think is dumb.
People like that show. I've never seen it before though.
The first 2 seasons
I'd like to see it, but I mean, the book is probably not what most people think, because yeah, it's the same thing. It's like alternate history where the Nazis and Japanese won the war and this stuff, like, but the book really doesn't focus on the things you expect it to at all.
The first 2 seasons look badass, and then I saw a teaser for the 3rd season, and it makes me not want to watch the whole thing entirely.
Word.
And if it's a third season, I mean, the book isn't even like a full book. It's more like a novella. So probably by the 3rd season, they're just making shit up, like what they had to do eventually do with Game of Thrones. It's like, shit, we ran out of books. Just make shit up.
The third one, basically, from what I saw from the teaser, not without saying anything, is like SJW feminist to the max for the third season, and I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna pass on this for
Yeah,
a
there's
while.
pretty much like nothing in the original book about feminism. I mean,
They've
if there
got to
was,
spin it
I
to make
totally
that
missed
money.
it. I mean, there is a female character and she's fairly important, but
I just hate when it's. I mean, yeah, I'm a Caucasian saying this, but when it's a minority or it has to do something with being male or female, and that's what drives a movie or a TV show. It really pisses me off. Even a game or a book. I don't fucking know. Any type of entertainment.
I don't really know any games that do that, but there probably are.
Yeah, there's a few, but like with Black Panther with the movies, and then you know, just it happens all the time.
Black Panther was heavy-handed at times, but I think I liked it more than a lot of people did.
Black Panther was an okay movie, but no, it's not the movie itself. It's sort of like what you said. It's more society's own reaction to it. Like
Yeah, like
it
you
wasn't
listen.
like it was a movie where people said, "Okay, black people, this is your movie." They kind of just decided that on yourself. Like you said, like they were renting out whole theaters to have like just black audiences watching, and I'm like,
No,
why did
and
they decide that? It's just a superhero.
here's what I mean by that.
I'm not
Like
saying it's wrong. I'm just saying
on
it's
great
kind of
radio
odd.
shows, like The Breakfast Club, they'd be like, "Yeah, we represented and we saw that shit in the theater. That's right, my main man." And I'm just like,
I
I
mean,
don't know about Top Gun. Come on, man. What the fuck?
if the character has to be African American to be a black superhero, for you to relate to it, whatever, cool, go for it. But like, I like Blade, and I'm not a black guy. I
Yeah,
like
I
Black
always like
Panther,
I
I'm not
always
a black
liked
guy.
superheroes that were different things. My favorite hero when I was a small kid, before I was even a big comics person, was Zorro. He was Mexican.
Yeah, but
I used to go for Halloween as a Mexican.
Right.
Is that racist or wrong? I liked Zorro. I
No,
dressed up
you're
as Zorro.
best
We're doing
discussion.
brown face.
Yeah. No, I just had a fake mustache.
One of the best discussions we ever had on the Sausage Factory was like we were tired of people getting fucking typecast or racial casts. How about the best woman or man for whatever fucking movie they're auditioning for actually gets the role? Considering if the budget they have the budget for it.
What do you guys
How about that?
That's a
remember?
tricky thing because it depends upon how developed a character is. Sometimes you can race lift a character and it makes no difference. If they're a different race,
Yeah.
it doesn't change the character either. But other characters, it does make a difference. So it's kind of a character by character basis.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think at
So-
least in North America, it really shouldn't matter that much what race you are at all. You could be anything really.
Well, I'm not saying it should matter like on any sort of societal level. I'm just saying about being true to some fictional character. Like
Right.
Peter Parker would not be the same person if he was Hispanic. He wouldn't.
Well,
I
That's
don't
what I was
mean he
gonna-
would be worse or anything like that. I just mean that it would change his character fundamentally. There's enough Peter Parker out there that it fits, white kid from Queens or whatever. Like that goes into it. If he's a different race, it does change that character. Certain
But
characters
Cole-
are not developed enough where you do a race lift, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change things. But it
What
will
I-
with
what-
a character that developed.
Well, you remember
What
when
I
they
mean-
were going to do him as a black character with this last reboot, right?
Well, I mean, Miles Morales is like the second Spider-Man, and I'm not going to go on a huge thing, but this is my thing. I am all for having different races represented in comics. It's awesome. It makes sense. If you're going to have a comic world, like Marvel, where there's ghosts and monsters and aliens, of course you should have heroes that represent people of all countries and races and stuff too. But I just don't like seeing established characters taking over the mantle with like a new race. That's all. I just want them to be a new character. Like when they invented White Tiger, that was great. White Tiger. It's like, yes, we need a Hispanic character. White Tiger. He'll be one of our first Hispanic superheroes. They didn't just say, let's just do a second Daredevil and he'll be Hispanic. Like,
And I
but
see exactly
but
what-
nowadays this is what they do. It's like, here's a new Ms. Marvel and she's Middle Eastern. I have no objection to that character. I just wish she wasn't Ms. Marvel. She doesn't even have the same fucking powers as Ms. Marvel. She has weird like shape-shifting powers. Why does she have the Ms. Marvel mantle? It doesn't make any sense to me.
and
Like I have no objection to the character at all. She's good and I like her book and stuff. I just don't get why she's Ms. Marvel. It's the same thing with like Miles Morales. Like I don't mind him, but why do we need another? and he was in the different world, and they had to bring him over. So now we have 2 Spider-Mans running around, and one is Miles Morales. The main reason I hated him had nothing to do with his race. It's because they actually, in the Ultimate Universe, killed off that Peter Parker and replaced him. That's why I hate him. I was going to hate anybody because they literally killed Peter Parker in that universe.
And I see exactly both what you guys are saying, but I mean something. What pisses and triggers me off the most is it's not based on a novel or a graphic novel. They just wrote a story and they said, "Hey, this guy's going to be African American and this guy's going to be Asian because let's make some more money." No,
Well,
that's
that doesn't
stupid.
bother me at all because then that's fine. You're just creating a character out of nothing, then they can be whatever race you decide. You're not changing
But
things.
but if you pick Marlon Wayans over Daniel Day-Lewis for a role, really?
Well, I don't know if that's ever happened in the history of ever.
I know, but I mean, new shit comes out every day. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, if you're making up something that's not based on something before, then the characters can be whatever races you decide. It's the same thing when you're writing a comic or thing. I'm talking about taking something that existed and changing the characters.
Yeah, I was talking about the opposite. But I mean, you hear something like this new every day. It's like she didn't give good blowjobs, so then she had to go the indie route, and then now she's a big famous actor in fucking Hollywood, and there's 10 Harvey Weinsteins. It's like I don't understand anymore. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't think about that stuff. I mean, my head would explode if I bothered thinking about all that stuff.
Yeah, night vision technology was really like a new thing at this point.
Jay, if they're expensive, put them down. Okay.
I mean, for like residential use, like not non-military use.
Well, are we talking about the night vision goggles?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal that he would have them, right? It makes them unique.
I mean, they're really expensive, I think.
Yeah.
If they're expensive, put them down.
It's
you get my meme?
Yeah, it's from Jurassic Park, but he actually says, "Are they heavy?" And he said, "Yes." Then they're expensive. Put them down. That's actually the quote.
I would really like to take some time and like dissect this guy's like lair because it's a lot going on. Like there was some sort of like Nazi brochure on the fridge and all the pictures of him with like strippers or something.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I should reread the book and see if they say more about it.
Or I was going to ask you, are all of his tattoos and piercings and stuff, is that all in the book?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They add quite a bit visually, which is good.
I mean, it's so specific.
He could kill her at any time, but he likes his game. This is how he killed most of his victims, is he'd let them loose and then he'd hunt them for fun. But he should. But the difference is he's hunting an armed victim, which is stupid of him.
Armed and trained.
Yeah. So boom, there he goes. He got a little too hubris.
And she's horny. Fuck yeah.
I know, like, this is like sacrilege, but I almost enjoy his performance more than Anthony Hopkins.
Like I said, it's a shame that it seems to get overlooked because Anthony Hopkins gets all the spotlight. Yeah. But I mean, he makes the movie work by being so good at this. By being, really menacing and weird and fucked up and, a really great villain character.
Yeah,
Bill Skin Smith.
He likes to skin ladies alive. He's going to make a suit for himself because he wants to be female. He collects moths and butterfly or moths and caterpillars, I guess.
It's like rare ones.
I don't mean this.
Even if he didn't kill people, he'd be really weird.
I don't mean this, but for movies, thank you, Ed Gein. May the cheese be with you in heaven.
I like the part where Clarice first comes in. She's like, "Get me out of here!" And she's like, "I can't. He's still in here." And she's like, "Come back, you fucking bitch!"
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And Clarice is just like, "Shut up." Like, I'd like to think that maybe they met later and she actually properly thanked her, for absolutely saving her from a horrible fate. Because you can understand her being under duress. She'd been held by a crazy serial killer for several days.
Don't you hurt my dog. Don't you make me hurt your dog.
Yeah.
Jay, you don't know what pain is, all right? All right, come on.
Oh, I mean, there's Crawford. Yeah, that's my probably biggest problem with the movie. I don't like the cat. This has nothing to do with race. I don't like the casting of Crawford. I don't think he's right. The guy, he's too.
What was he like in the book?
He was just more gritty and I don't know, just more. That guy looks like a pencil pusher. He looks like a bank teller. I'm not saying he was like super manly and
So
woodsy, but
you wanted to be like Predator, like Dylan, you son of a bitch, and they just fucking walk
yeah, pencil pusher. I know. I walked into that one.
around.
Hey, look, they're out with the geeks. He's like, look, I got the black one. Well, it worked out pretty well for him. They're two stupid
No.
geek scientist guys. What's the word, Jay? I can't believe I can't remember ophthalmologist. You know, they study insects. Is Jay frozen?
No, he just has his webcam off.
For me, it looks frozen. Entomologist. Anyway, and one of them, a pretty FBI agent comes in, and one of them actually manages to score a date with her, and the other guy's like, "Oh, that sucks." He's like, she has a friend, and she's black. Cool, you know. I don't know. It would probably be like the coolest moment in that guy's life. He's like, you know, some nerdy white guy. He's like, I'm with an attractive black woman. Now the phone call. I have no plans to call on you, Clarice, which means, don't worry, I won't murder you. Yeah, Jay's gone. He left. He hates us. Oh my god, it's so fucking late. It's 20 after 4 here. My god. He's having an old friend for dinner. Look at that. I like how this keeps going, too. Like, they don't go to the credits for really long... Or they don't go to black for a really long time. They hold on this. The whole crowd walking through.
Call, and then you see him walking in whatever country he's in.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's such a good way to end the movie.
Yeah, and they hold on it. Like, they don't fade to black for a really long time. See, there's Chilton.
Yeah.
And now he's going to start following him. So it's like, yeah, Chilton. And they do confirm in Hannibal that, that Chilton definitely got killed.
I'm a filthy casual movie watcher, but when I see a movie like this, it just makes me kind of glad to be more of a suspense thriller / horror type guy.
I guess they're like in Jamaica or somewhere.
Somewhere in the Caribbean. He's just walking with his pimp hat on. Dude, his suit and his hat is so badass. I wish I had something like that. Just walking. Imagine you like strolling around Nova Scotia with that suit on. Oh my god, you'd be like a pussy magnet. Holy shit.
I'd look like a crazy person, probably.
No, you look like a savage, dude.
I don't think it wouldn't fit here. It's more for a southern place like that, a nice tropical place.
Dude, you wear that in the summer and you have a fitted suit, dude, you'd fucking kill it.
I'm not
in Hannibal's case, you know, obviously. But.
I'm a filthy casual when it comes to clothes. I like casual clothes. I don't like formal stuff. Brooding, the friendly psychopath, the brooding psychopath.
Ah, fuck, goddamn it! Oh. Once Jay gets
Precious was played by Darla. I don't even. Oh, Jay's back. That's good.
Jay already has. I want to get his what he thinks of the end of the movie with the phone call and then the setting and stuff.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I don't know that he would be stupid enough to call. But I mean, I guess back then he could get away with it. I don't know.
And yeah, I mean, it was only for a few seconds. Like, there's no way anyone's going to trace it. He was calling her at a banquet hall, not like the police station.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't really know the specifics on all that.
Yeah, but see, still going. I like that. It still hasn't faded to black. We're still seeing the street.
Yeah, almost like a crane type shot.
Yeah. And it just holds on it.
I wonder what island this was shot on, though.
Where is it supposed to be? Do we know that exactly?
We don't know exactly. You know, it might be Jamaica or somewhere. You know,
like gotta be
somewhere Caribbean. Yeah.
Somewhere that gets destroyed by hurricanes all the time, and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty bad trade-off. I mean, it might be fun to live somewhere tropical, but they're always getting pounded by hurricanes and stuff. Yeah. Like, it'd be nice to live in a tropical paradise, but not if, like, every 5 years I have to, like, build a new house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I experienced one hurricane in my life, and that was plenty.
But it just sucks because you see people, you see videos or interviews of people from Barbados and like Jamaica, and they're like, man, I'm Usain Bolt. It's like Jamaican bobsled team, and then all that shit. You're like, this is terrible.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah.
But I love seeing all those countries at the Summer Olympics when it's like they've got their own little part of the island. It's either owned by like America or like the UK, or that's where most of the people came from, and it's just like Trinidad and Tobago. Or that might be Africa. I don't fucking know, but
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Trinidad and Tobago. That's off South America.
Barbados.
In Mighty Ducks 2, that's the first team they play. They play a hockey team from Trinidad and Tobago.
I remember that.
They're the ones that are all like tie-dyed. They're all like pink and purple and shit. That's Trinidad and Tobago, the hockey team.
Because when the Jamaican bobsled team comes and the Usain Bolt's running,
Yeah, but see, the Jamaican bobsled team was real. They existed.
That's a fucked
when
up
you take a
movie.
knee, what?
It's an awesome movie, and
Cool
such an
Runnings?
influential. You know that it like set the tone for like so many like serial killer movies to follow and stuff. And one of my favorite adaptations of a book like shows that you can do it properly because it's so well done, well cast.
Alabama hockey team.
There are. I mean, that's the other thing. Like in the lower leagues, there's like hockey teams in ridiculous places in the states.
That's why I'm glad that
There's like
Subban
the
got traded.
Pensacola Ice Bats and weird teams like that. And I'm
No.
thinking, man, how much do you have to love hockey to like slog away in like the ECHL or one of those low leagues? You're on a bus every other night going to some like tiny town where like I don't know, there might be 4,000 people
No.
in the stands.
That's why Nashville and St. Louis are awesome because then when Subban got traded to the Predators, I was like, they're like, fuck yeah, and he's like, I belong here. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was a big deal for a place like Nashville to have like a star black hockey player. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to sound like racist, even though I just completely did. But I mean,
I belong here.
dude, he's a god in Tennessee, and he's
He
one
was
of
a
the most.
god in Montreal, honestly. He was loved. You have no idea how much people loved him and how upset they were when he got traded. There were people that burned their season tickets when Subban got traded.
I have some idea, but he's the LeBron of hockey for African Americans. I mean, that's safe to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, in that context, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sure.
What does I belong here mean?
I guess he just meant because he's black and there's less
Black
blacks
people?
in Canada. I don't know.
Get good African American hockey players. There's like maybe 3 that are African American. Maybe Cole, or is that a stretch? 2 or 3?
Ah, man, half the guys in the NFL could be in the NHL next week.
Yeah, apparently.
All they would have to do, just
Chad
give me
Ochocinco, right, Cole?
What's that?
He's been in the CFL. Chad Ochocinco. Chad, whatever the fuck his name was.
I don't
what is
know.
his
I
real
don't know
name?
what you're talking about.
Johnson?
What?
Maybe.
Chad Ochocinco. He played in the CFL.
His name was
Did he really?
Ocho Cinco?
He changed it to Ochocinco. Chad Johnson. That's what his name was.
He was
don't
in the.
know.
He was really.
Look,
in the,
I don't
NHL?
know much. I barely watched the CHL. Like I know Doug Flutie played in the CHL.
No, the CF. Yeah, he was in the NFL first,
CFL, sorry,
and then
CFL.
Oh, CFL. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
it was Chad Johnson. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals, and then he played for one of the 6 teams on the CFL. And he changed his name to Chad Ochocinco. Anyways, I'm saying this is one of the funniest things he ever fucking said. He's like, yeah, man, I grew up in the projects, and we had tons of motherfuckers who could beat Michael Phelps. I fucking almost pissed myself. I was
Michael
dying
Phelps?
laughing.
The
Michael
swimmer?
Phelps, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swimmer.
Well,
He's
I
like,
guess
yeah, I know.
maybe that's just something football players like to do is say that they could be good at other sports.
Beat him at what? Craps?
No,
Maybe
but he just
I mean,
thought, like,
football players like to brag, so I get it.
No,
said,
but just
there's a lot of shit talking in places like football and especially basketball, and that's because nobody will fight you. You talk shit in hockey, somebody will feed you your lunch.
No. That is not true, and this is why I think football is way more.
There's no
physical.
fighting in football.
No, but if you talk shit, if you say, "Hey, Orc, you're a fat piece of shit. I fucked your mom," and then you're coming across the middle and you're a receiver, I will fucking destroy you, and then you won't be able to move.
But you're gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, but
That's
I
your
mean,
job.
and they've kind of pussyfied it recently. But I mean that's why I think football is way more grueling than hockey, and not way more, but a little bit more.
It's more grueling in certain ways. Like they keep smashing their heads together. That's not good.
Yeah.
Every play, they're smashing their heads together.
And and that's why I like hockey and football so much. But
But one
basketball,
thing I like
they
about
stay on.
hockey is, like, see, in football, somebody like me couldn't survive. I'd be dead. But somebody like me, if they're skilled enough, can survive in hockey. It's hard.
Yeah, but
Trust me,
that's why
size
they're
is always
both
going to
great.
be an asset in hockey. If you're big and strong, that helps. But you can be, nowadays, you can be 5'8", 170 pounds. If you're skilled and fast, you can survive, even in the toughest league in the world, because you can slip checks and you can bounce off them and stuff like that. In football,
Yeah,
there's no
but-
fucking chance of that. You'll just get steamrolled.
Yeah, but that's why those are my two favorite team sports, at least. But then basketball, I fucking love basketball too. But motherfuckers run their mouths so much.
Yeah.
To not throw fists like Latrell Sprewell or like fucking Rodman or something, dude. I would that would be me if I was a pro basketball player. Like some guy would like be like,
Yeah, they're always talking shit. Jordan
They're-
talked more shit than anybody.
I
Man.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess you could get away with it.
that's why I like white
Yeah.
men can't jump so much.
But yeah, you
It's
can't
just
get away with
hilarious.
that shit in hockey. If you do that, you'll be taken care of. There's a code in hockey. As stupid as it sounds, there really is. There's a code, and if you break those rules, you get the shit kicked out of you.
And then
Those
football.
guys,
Sorry,
those
go ahead.
guys know how to throw elbows and make it look like an accident.
Anyway, it's super late. That was Silence of the Lambs, one of our favorites. We did some sports talk too, but we always talk
That
about
was
other stuff.
serial killer sports and underrated heroes and villains.
I hope we can do Red Dragon some point too, though, because I love that movie just as much. Honestly, I really do. Just because I like the book. Well, I like the movie more than Red Dragon, but I like Red Dragon the book more than the book Silence of the Lambs. And again, it's not because one is necessarily really better. It's just because I really like Will as a character. He's really
Don't
interesting.
kill me, Cole, but I rank them Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, Red Dragon, Manhunter.
Yeah, I'm not really a Hannibal fan. I don't even like the book. I don't really like where the story goes. It has things in it I like. I like some things, but I really hate the ending. I hate the ending in both of them. But there's still some cool stuff. Hannibal over in Italy doing shit. That's kind of cool.
Oh, when the dude's chasing him and like stalking him? Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, in Italy. I love that scene.
What, like the pickpocket thing?
Yeah, the pickpocket thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The pickpocket goes to do his little dip thing to pickpocket, and he gets fatally stabbed right in the middle of the crowd.
But
Yeah,
but
that
he's
is-
all like at the end of this movie, he's got like a really really nice attire on, and he just keeps walking. He's like do 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 do.
That's it. You don't fuck with Lecter. He's ready at all times. And the guy, it was so slick. The guy didn't even realize he'd been stabbed first. He's like, he tried to hit me in the balls, but I blocked it. And it's like, you're bleeding out right now. You're dying.
Yeah.
That's how smooth and slick Lecter is as a killer.
But like I said, I haven't
Wow.
seen Hannibal Rising, but all four of those movies, I love them.
Hannibal Rising is a decent enough movie, but it's really unnecessary. I don't really like what it does, and of course, it isn't Anthony Hopkins. It's just some guys. I don't know. It's dumb. They put all this like samurai bullshit in it because he's like in love with this old Japanese woman. I'm not kidding. They do.
Kurosawa Junior Rising, or what?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like his stepmother. His stepmother is this Japanese woman, and she's all super old school, based on like the samurai code and stuff. And it really instills. He's like in love with her and stuff. I don't know. It's all stupid. The book and the movie. But I'd like to see it again. I haven't seen it in years. But anyway, hopefully sometime we'll do Red Dragon because it's one of my favorites for this one. Well, anyway, thanks guys for. I don't know. We could have put this off because everything was a disaster and it wasn't working. And now it's super late, much later than I meant to be up. But whatever. I really wanted to make this work.
and that was
'Cause
mainly my
I
fault.
was
so
looking
sorry.
up. It's just as much my fault because I was so inept at making the broadcast work. So thanks a lot, guys, for staying up late with me.
Wait. I'll
Yeah.
let you finish. We'll do Red Dragon in October sometime. TBD.
Sure. That sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot. That's going to do it for now. Peace out, guys. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.